Chapter 24. Take him away. Yizichin turned around. At the entrance of the cafe, a ball-shaped object appeared in his line of sight. After taking 2 steps, his forehead was covered in sweat. His physique seemed to be slightly weak. He needed to take some medicine to nourish his kidneys. "Beauty, I'm here." The fatty spoke with a foreign accent. Yizichin couldn't help but think of the word nouveau riche when he saw the huge gold chain and ring. "Boss, didn't you want to see my boyfriend?" "He's my boyfriend." Xia Kiki blinked her bright eyes coquettishly, then pointed with her finger. Yizichin also stood up. The main reason why Fatty looked like a ball was because of his height. From the looks of it, he was only around 1.65 meters tall. Yizichin was 1.86 meters, so he was a head taller than him when he stood up. "Fatty, I heard that you want to keep my girlfriend? How much did you give her? Let me see if it's worth it." The moment Yizichin finished, Xia Kiki twisted his waist. "I asked you to come here to be my shield. What are you trying to say?" When Yizichin stood up, the fatty was also a bit scared. However, upon hearing his words, Green Bean's eyes flashed with disdain. "Poor students will always be poor students. Brat, you want money, right? Why do you care if I'm after money or not? I'm asking how much money you have." Fatty raised his hand and extended 5 fingers. 50,000. Yizichin subconsciously glanced at Xia Kiki. He didn't think that this girl was worth so much. 50,000, it was almost the size of a small periphery. Xia Kiki bit her lips. Was this guy even listening to her? Why did she feel like she was about to jump into a fire pit? "As expected. You want to be my girlfriend's girlfriend for 50,000? Look at her figure, and she's a top student from the Polytechnic University. She's both beautiful and intelligent, and you want to be her girlfriend for 50,000? Then how much do you want?" 500,000. "If you are willing to spend 500,000 on my girlfriend, I will give her to you." Yizichin waved his hand generously, but the fatty's eyes turned green when he heard that. "Impossible. If it's impossible, then scram. What kind of university student are you if you don't have a wallet? Coward," Yizichin said in disdain. The fatty squinted his eyes. "All right, little bro, don't you just want money? To be honest, I feel sorry for this beauty. She actually found a boyfriend like you. How about this? I'll pay 200,000. That's the price of a C-list celebrity." 200,000. Yizichin revealed a look of hesitation. Seeing that, the disdain in the fatty's eyes became even more obvious. Poor students will always be poor students. After a long time, "Deal," Yizichin directly decided. Xia Kiki was completely stunned. She was sold just like that. Fatty took out a card from his pocket with a look of disdain. "There's 1.2 million in this card, enough for half a year. Tisk tsk, the boss is so generous." Yizichin picked up the card with a greedy look, but Xia Kiki slapped it down. "What are you doing?" Xia Kiki grabbed Yizichin's arm with a nervous expression. "Wife, it's 200,000. Be content." "That's right, beauty. Tell me, what's the use of following a man like this? Why don't you follow me? I guarantee that you'll be able to enjoy wealth and glory in the future." The fatty persuaded on the side, causing Xia Kiki's face to twitch. Yizichin rubbed his hands and picked up the card. "This money is mine, right?" "Yes." The fatty nodded. Then, Yizichin directly chucked the card onto the table. "You took my girlfriend away, so you have to let me have a woman, right? How about this, give me your daughter's bag. 50,000 a month, that's for 2 years. Brat, you're F***king messing with me." The fatty glared at him. Yizichin shrugged with a smile. "You just found out? Do you believe that I'll find someone to kill you?" The fatty's eyes shone with a fierce light. Yizichin shrunk his neck and pretended to be scared. "Ah, I'm so scared." Slap. Yizichin slapped the fatty's mouth, causing him to spin on the spot. Then, he kicked the fatty's stomach. Dong. The fatty crashed into the coffee shop's wall with a loud sound. The loud sound instantly shocked everyone in the coffee shop. Young Master Yi. A figure suddenly walked out from the crowd of customers. Yi Zichen glanced over. It was Director Bai of the Stone Gambling Hall, Bai Dahai. The fatty, who crashed into the wall, also shouted when he saw Bai Dahai. Bai Ji, save me. Lil Zhao. Bai Dahai was stunned, then looked around the fatty and Yi Zichen. What, you want to meddle in other people's business? Bai Dahai did want to be a mediator, but when he saw the coldness in Yi Zichen's eyes, he directly swallowed the words that were at the tip of his tongue. I don't dare. This was young Master Su's friend, he couldn't offend him. If you don't dare, then F***ck off to the side. Yi Zichen pushed Bai Dahai to the side and walked towards the fatty. As Yi Zichen got closer, the fatty's shouts towards Bai Dahai became even more urgent. Bai Dahai shook his head. Lil Zhao, young Master Yi is young Master Su's friend. Although I don't know how you offended this lord, Big Bro can't help you. Young Master Su. The fatty instantly withered like a frosted eggplant. They all knew very well just who young Master Su was. All of a sudden, the fatty quickly kneeled on the ground and begged. Young Master Yi, please let me go. Slap. Yi Zichen mercilessly slapped the fatty's face. Now you know to call young Master Yi and beg? Why didn't you call him young Master Yi when you were stealing Laozi's woman just now? Oh yeah, didn't you want to find someone to kill me? What happened to your viciousness just now? Yi Zichen squinted his eyes and revealed a demonic smile. The fatty's pupils twitched intensely as he gulped and begged on the ground. The sirens of the police cars sounded out. Yi Zichen looked out the window and saw 2 police cars parked outside the coffee shop. It seemed like someone in the coffee shop called the police. Yi Zichen reached out his hand and patted the fatty's face as he looked at the fatty, who had been beaten into a pig's head. The police are here, you're safe. But, do you know what to say later? No. Dao, the fatty couldn't even speak properly after being beaten by Yi Zichen, so Yi Zichen also sat down on a chair. How is it, wife? Are you satisfied with what I did? Xia Kiki was a bit shocked the moment Yi Zichen made his move. She had found him to be a shield, but she didn't think that it would turn out like this. However, she didn't dislike it at all, and even felt that he was rather handsome. Police. At that moment, the police outside also rushed in. One of the female police officers shouted when they saw the fatty, who was beaten black and blue at the door. Who hit you? Yi Zichen whistled as he looked up at the sky. A hint of struggle flashed across the fatty's eyes as he clenched his teeth. Officer, I fell by myself. Even a 3-year-old could tell that this was a lie. The police officer scanned the people around the fatty. The bloodstains on Yi Zichen's pants were immediately noticed by the police officer. Chapter 25. Release him. The light from the interrogation room shone on Yi Zichen's face, causing him to squint his eyes uncomfortably. Slap. The female police officer walked in from outside the interrogation room and slammed the notebook onto the table. Confess. Hearing that, Yi Zichen looked up. Why didn't he think that the female police officer would directly bring him over just like that? Yi Zichen swept his gaze over the female police officer's face. It had to be said, this police officer was rather pretty. She had a proper oval face and her long black hair was tied into a ponytail. Even though her face was completely cold, it did not affect her beauty. Officer, I don't have anything to confess. Sure, stubborn. The police officer smiled slightly, then opened the notebook and took out a pen to start the formal questioning. Name. When the police officer asks for the other party's name, shouldn't you report your family first? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows and smiled. The female police officer slammed the table, causing him to quiver. Do you believe that I'll directly lock you up for obstructing official business? Why are you so violent? Yi Zichen twitched his mouth. At least tell me your surname. Lin. Oh, Officer Lin, I'm called Yi Zichen. Age. 20. Gender. Yi Zichen paused for a moment. He couldn't help but think of the joke that people got sick of. How about I take it off for you to see? Take it off and see for yourself. Officer Lin didn't respond at all. She thought that she would be able to anger the other party like in novels, but she directly kicked the ball back to her. Male. Why did you hit him? Officer Lin, this is a bit of slander. The fatty already told you himself just now that he fell by himself. What right do you have to frame me and say that I hit him? Yi Zichen said helplessly. Don't pretend to be innocent. The reason the victim said that might be because he was threatened earlier. Don't beat around the bush, just confess. Officer Lin stared straight at Yi Zichen, as if she wanted to see through his heart. I didn't. Yi Zichen was stubborn to the end. If he confesses, then he would have to stay at the detention center for at least half a month. How long do you think you can pretend? The victim has already been sent to the hospital by us. With the protection of the police, it won't take long for the victim to confess to you. Anyway, I didn't fight. Yi Zichen acted shamelessly with her, then glanced at Officer Lin's chest. 36C, it's really nice. Officer Lin slammed the table and stood up, while Yi Zichen also shrunk back with his eyes wide open. What? The police are going to beat me up? Beating you up is just beating up scum. Officer Lin's fist cracked, while she walked towards Yi Zichen step by step with a cold expression. The police are beating people up. Susu, I'm sorry. Tycoon Bro was taken to the police station to be my shield. Xia Kiki pouted pitifully as she made the call. The person on the other side of the phone was stunned for a moment before saying nervously. What about him? I don't know, but that police officer looks very fierce to me. I don't know if Tyrant Bro will suffer in there. Alright, I got it. Pa. The call was directly hung up. Xia Kiki stood outside the police station and took a few glances inside. After a moment of hesitation, she dialed a number on her phone. Officer Lin, don't forget your identity. Even if I'm a criminal, you can't be rough with me. Otherwise, I'll get my lawyer to send a lawyer's letter to your police station. Yi Zichen gulped as he half warned and half threatened. God knows what this crazy woman would do to him. Right now, his hands were still cuffed, so even if he got beaten up, he could only endure it. Don't worry, we have a lot of ways to make you feel pain, but we can't find any injuries. Officer Lin walked towards Yi Zichen step by step like a little demon. The moment she raised her hand, Yi Zichen instantly cowered. I'll confess. Wouldn't it have been fine if you had just confessed earlier? Officer Lin smiled proudly and returned to the table. Say it. Bang. Just as Officer Lin picked up her pen, the interrogation room's door was smashed open. Officer Lin, there's a call. I'm interrogating a criminal. It's the station chief. Officer Lin threw her pen to the side angrily and snorted, I'll deal with you when I get back. Station chief. Lil Lin, did our station arrest a Mr. Yi? Officer Lin's expression changed after hearing that. Yes. The person on the other side of the phone clearly paused for a moment, then said in a very urgent tone, Hurry up and release that Mr. Yi. But he didn't intentionally. Lil Lin, this is an order from above. What's more, the military also requested us to immediately release that Mr. Yi just now. Do you understand? Officer Lin held the phone and hesitated for a long time, then couldn't help but sigh. Understood. After hanging up, Officer Lin looked at the police officer beside her. What did the victim say? The victim insisted that he fell down by himself, and that it has nothing to do with the suspect. Creak. Release him. Yi Zichen swaggered out of the interrogation room, but before he left, he even ran in front of Officer Lin shamelessly. Beauty, I'm leaving. Don't miss me. Don't let me catch you here. Why are you so angry? If women get angry easily, then my auntie will bleed. Yi Zichen made a face towards Officer Lin, causing her to clench her teeth in anger. Officer Lin couldn't help but clench her fist as she looked at Yi Zichen's cocky back. Get me all of the information regarding Yi Zichen and send it to my office. When Yi Zichen walked out of the police station, His mood could only be described with 2 words. Relaxed. Riche bro. Xia Kiki, who had been guarding the entrance of the police station, directly leaped into Yi Zichen's arms. Yi Zichen subconsciously caught her, only to see that the little loli in his arms was already crying. You scared me to death just now. How big of a deal is it? Your mental endurance is so weak, I really don't know how you managed to reach master level. This lady relied on skills. Xia Kiki immediately put on a proud and stubborn expression when Yi Zichen mentioned League of Legends. However, she, who was still crying, stuttered her words. Alright, it's skills. Keek's League skills are the best. Of course. Xia Kiki wrinkled her nose and raised her head stubbornly. She looked at Yi Zichen's smiling face in shock, then tiptoed. Smooch. A warm kiss was left on Yi Zichen's cheek. When he turned around in shock, he saw Xia Kiki wipe her tears with a giggle. This was this lady's first kiss. We don't owe each other anything. Don't use this to threaten me in the future. Ding dong. Yi Zichen's heart skipped a beat. Chapter 26. Marriage string snapped. Your affability level with Su Yan decreased by 40. Current affability level, 0. Marriage string snap. It actually wasn't Xia Kiki's marriage string. Yi Zichen felt a bit disappointed. This little loli was very pleasing to the eye, and her weird look was also very likable. Wait. That's not the main point, alright? Su Yan's marriage string snap. Yi Zichen frantically opened the treasure chest on his phone. As expected, there was only one marriage string left in the treasure chest. Su Yan's marriage string had already disappeared. Just what happened? Why did Su Yan's affability level suddenly drop to 0? Could it be that she saw Xia Kiki just now? Yi Zichen quickly searched the surroundings in order to find Su Yan. At that moment, on the street opposite the police station, Su Yan called a taxi and got in. Su Yan, Yi Zichen shouted, but the taxi door had already closed and left. Did Su come? Xia Kiki, who didn't know anything, blinked and looked around. No, why don't I see Su? You're hallucinating, right? Su Yan saw you kiss me just now. Her affability level dropped to 0. Affability level dropped to 0? Xia Kiki was confused. Yi Zichen rubbed his aching head and didn't know what to say. He couldn't tell her that he had Yu Lao's marriage string and knew the affability level with Su Yan, right? Never mind, let's go back to school. Oh. When Yi Zichen returned to the dorm, his roommates were still fighting on the front lines of the Dre Alliance. The moment he entered the room, his roommates invited him eagerly, but he refused. Game my ass. The goddess is going to leave me. Alright. Yi Zichen clicked open his WeChat chat with Yu Lao and directly sent a row of angry emojis. Celestial friend, what happened? My and Su Yan's marriage string snapped. Yu Lao, can you reconnect the two of us? Allow me to go and check. Not long later, Yu Lao sent another message. The marriage string did snap, but I'm only acting as a middleman for this marriage. Since it snapped, it means that you aren't fated yet. A forceful melon isn't sweet, I can't. Alright, I understand. While Yi Zichen was extremely annoyed, Yu Lao sent another message. The treasure fellow Taoist gave me is almost gone. I wonder, scan. Send. Yu Lao has received your red packet. Take it and smoke it. Stop bothering me. After sending Yu Lao away, Yi Zichen sat on the bed without moving. It wasn't easy for him to connect with Su Yan, but it was broken by a freak combination of factors. Just like that, the goddess left him. Yi Zichen's heart crumbled. At the same time, in Su Yan's dorm, Xia Kiki skipped into the dorm and saw Su Yan sitting on the sofa in a daze. Su, what are you doing? Kiki, you're back. When Su Yan saw Xia Kiki, a dark light flashed through her eyes. Yeah, I've been waiting for Tyrant Bro at the police station. I'm so tired. Xia Kiki casually kicked off her shoes and lay down on the bed, then rolled a few times on the bed. Tycoon Bro just told me that he saw you at the police station. Did you go there just now? Why didn't I see you? I didn't, Su Yen shook her head. I told you, Tycoon Bro must have been hallucinating. Xia Kiki turned around and stretched lazily, then sat down in front of the computer. I'm going to continue fighting. There are still quite a few jobs that I haven't finished. Kiki. At that moment, Su Yen spoke up once again, but then stopped. Xia Kiki raised her eyebrows in confusion. Su Yen also bit her lips. What do you think about Yi Zichen? Xia Kiki blinked, then suddenly laughed. Very good, I feel very safe when I'm with him. Is that so? Hearing Xia Kiki's reply, Su Yan's face suddenly turned pale, while she forced a smile. Should I explain to Su Yan or not? Yi Zichen clicked open his chat with Su Yan. After hesitating for a long time, he did not send a single word. So annoying. Yi Zichen rubbed his temples and frowned as he laid on the bed. After struggling countless times, he chose to leave the chat. So what if I explain? Explaining is just hiding it. A bright red one appeared in his contact list. Yi Zichen clicked it open. New friend, Howling Celestial Dog has sent you a friend request. Why did this dog add me? Yi Zichen ignored the friend request, but at that moment, his phone vibrated. Erlang Shen has sent you a friend request. What is this for? Accept. The moment he accepted, a message appeared on Yi Zichen's WeChat. Erlang Shen, you're so cocky you actually dared to leave this god hanging for so long. Is there something wrong with your brain? I just sent you a friend request, and you added me. Yi Zichen looked at the intimacy level. Sure. Cold. At that moment, Erlang Shen sent another message. Alright, you're playing dead with me, right? Do you believe that I won't tear down your house with the Howling Celestial Dog? This B***TCH is a shrew. Yi Zichen thought back to the large-scale fights in the chat group. It seems like Erlang Shen was the one who started them all. If it was before, Yi Zichen would definitely be terrified. But now that his goddess had just left him, he was in an extremely bad mood. You need something? Heh, you're not playing dead anymore. If you have something to fart about, then say it. Stop blabbering with me. This god is very busy. I don't have time for a small fry like you. You're very cocky. Say your celestial title, see if Lousy doesn't beat the shit out of you. Say your ass. Slap. Yi Zichen directly deleted him. Ding dong. Erlang Shen has sent you a friend request. Who cares about you? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. Someone did. In less than a minute, Yi Zichen saw that Erlang Shen had actually added him in the group. F***CKU. Yi Zichen's hairs stood up. This grandson truly started a fight at the slightest disagreement. Yi Zichen clicked open the WeChat group. Erlang Shen, only idealism, little bastard, you actually dared to delete Lousy. Don't play dead with Lousy. Say your celestial title. God of Thunder, Erlang Shen started a fight again. Mother of Lightning, spectating. Immortality Peach Fairy. I'm going to look at the garden right now. I don't have time to look. What a pity. Jade Rabbit. Selling white radishes, water radishes and big radishes in the front row. The deities all moved out to spectate the fight. Erlang Shen. Only idealism, weren't you very cocky just now? Come, keep acting in front of Lousy. Why are you scared? I told you to say your celestial title, don't play dead. Erlang Shen. Only idealism. Erlang Shen. Only idealism. All of a sudden, the entire screen was filled with Erlang Shen Yi Zichen. Sure. Erlang Shen was forcing him to abdicate. He had been famous in the celestial realm for a long time. Even the victorious fighting Buddha and the Monkey King were evenly matched with him. In terms of battle prowess, he was indeed undefeatable. However, speaking of a button fight, I'm a young man who has lived in my country for more than 20 years and read several tens of thousands of jokes. How could I be scared of you? Chapter 27. Lowly Erlang Shen grandson, why are you in such a hurry to tag me? Do you want pocket money? When Yi Zichen didn't show himself, the deities all thought that they couldn't fight anymore, so they prepared to retreat. But when this news came out, it immediately caused a huge uproar. Erling Shin, little bastard, you've finally come out. Quickly report your celestial title. What the hell was a celestial title? How could Yi Zichen have one? He curled his lips and sent 3 disdainful emojis. What's the use of announcing your immortal name? Whoever is stronger will be the boss. Tell me your coordinates and we'll meet face to face. The moment Yi Zichen said that, all the surrounding deities were shocked. He thought to himself, this celestial sovereign is too cool. He actually dared to challenge Erling Shin to a fight. Erling Shin was clearly stunned as well. He had been famous in the immortal realm for over 1,000 years. Other than the monkey who dared to challenge him, everyone else had to take a detour whenever they saw him. This kid actually dared to ask him out. Alright, let's meet face to face then. He wasn't a war god for nothing. If Erling Shin was afraid of a fight, then he wouldn't be able to survive in the future. Ding dong. Yi Zichen directly sent the map over. The moment the map was sent, the group fell silent once again. What is this? I don't understand. I've never seen this before. What is this place? Erling Shin was also dumbfounded. He did not understand what these crisscrossing lines were. What did you send? This is my address, Bingqing University of Science and Technology, come on. How? TSK, this is a secret place. I was only able to come here by chance. You ask me how I came here? How could I possibly know? Erling Shin went silent for a while, then exploded. You're messing with me, right? You're not qualified to fool you. I've already told you the address. If you can come, then come. If you can't, then scram and feed the dogs. I'm going to die of anger. I'm going to die of anger, boom. A catfight was about to break out. Erling Shin, as the #1 force in the celestial realm, had never tasted defeat in thousands of years. In the blink of an eye, Erling Shin's hand speed exploded and filled the screen with his messages. Yi Zichen merely smiled in disdain when he saw that. He casually sent an online joke over. Although Yi Zichen didn't have the advantage in numbers, every word he said was critical. You little bastard. You're a dog of the heavenly court. Don't be arrogant in front of me. I'll beat the shit out of you if I see it. You're a dog of the heavenly court. You're playing dumb with me. You're a dog of the heavenly court. Your sister let a mortal sleep. Your sister also slept with a mortal. Your Chang'e doesn't love you. Chang'e, what does that have to do with me? At the beginning, Yi Zichen would only say 10-odd sentences for Erling Shin. Then, he would say 1 sentence for each of them. In the end, Erling Shin didn't even know what to say anymore. Yi Zichen had won the battle. Grandson, follow the coordinates and find him. You can't fight. Yi Zichen sent the message with a cold smile, followed by 3 emojis of disdain. Ding dong. Erling Shin has sent you a friend request. Accept. Grandson, what's up? Yi Zichen was still basking in the glory of his victory. Fellow immortal, I feel that we are fated. Why don't we become sworn brothers? What the hell? Sworn brothers. As expected, Yi Zichen took a look at the friendliness level behind Erling Shin. 100. Friendly. This bastard is a scumbag, right? He even scolded me high after scolding me. Damn. No. Yi Zichen directly refused. However, Erling Shin sent another message over. Bro, we got to know each other through fighting. This god has never met a worthy opponent in the fighting circles of the celestial realm. The so-called experts are lonely. Seriously, I'm too empty. Every time I start a fight, it's to find someone who can defeat me. Today, you finally appeared. Bro, I sincerely want to become sworn brothers with you. You should also know that I'm like this in the heavenly court. After Erling Shin said that, he even sent a thumbs up. #1. Then where did the Jade Emperor rank him? However, Yi Zichen thought about it. Becoming sworn brothers with Erling Shin isn't too bad. To be honest, he was too impulsive when he fought with Erling Shin in the group. If any deity pointed out that they had never seen him before, or if Erlang Shen asked him to say his celestial title, then he would be exposed. If he became sworn brothers with Erlang Shen, then even if he was exposed, he would directly Erlang Shen. Erlang Shen would definitely be able to tear the person who criticized him into pieces. Alright, sworn brothers. Ding dong. Erlang Shen requests to become sworn brothers with you. Accept. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with Erlang Shen increased by 100. Current intimacy level, trusted. You are 400 away from respected. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. He didn't think that the intimacy level would increase by 100. This was because he had been in the deity group for so long. The first trusted was born. Bro, how should I address you? This sovereign's Dharma name is Nameless. You can just call me Brother Nameless. Brother Nameless. Erlang Shen was extremely friendly, causing Yi Zichen to feel the magic of trust. Now, even if the Jade Emperor told Erlang Shen that Yi Zichen wasn't a deity and kicked him out of the group, this idiot would have to fight with the Jade Emperor. Brother Nameless, add my family's howling celestial dog as a friend. If you can't find me here in the future, you can send me a message from Howling Celestial Dog. Xiao Celestial Dog has sent a friend request. Accept. Xiao Tianquan. Woof 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 F***CK. It was indeed a dog. Ding dong. Yi Zichen's phone suddenly rang. When he took a look, he saw that it was Erlang Shen who sent him a red packet. This Erlang Shen really knows what to do. Yi Zichen smiled and opened the red packet. You have received Erlang Shen's red packet. Invincible Vajra X1. Invincible Vajra. It seemed to be the Monkey King's skill. I don't know what to give Brother Nameless either. This is a secret manual that I sent Xiao Tianquan to steal from the monkey a while ago. I'm giving it to Brother Nameless. This howling celestial dog was quite capable. How could he steal a secret manual from the Monkey King? It seemed like the Monkey King had always been the one stealing from others. However, to be honest, Yi Zichen really wanted the 72 transformations. Brother, this invincible Vajra is a skill of the Monkey King. I can barely use it. I wonder if the 72 transformations can. Brother Nameless, it's not that I'm stingy, the main thing is that the 72 transformations is too special. Alright, then never mind. Yi Zichen didn't force it since he couldn't trick it. It was already good enough that it had the invincible Vajra. Thinking about it, since this guy already gave him a secret manual, Yi Zichen looked around. Coincidentally, a storybook entered his sight. Scan. Erlang Shen received your red packet. This is? Open it and take a look. It's definitely useful for you. Do you know why you can't beat me in a fight? It's all because of this book. Then I have to take a good look. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with Erlang Shen increased by 50. Current intimacy level. Trusted, 350 away from respected. This number, Yi Zichen smiled helplessly, then clicked open the treasure chest. Invincible Vajra. Chapter 28. Demolition Disturbance. 10 whole days passed by. It could be said that Yi Zichen couldn't stop using the unbreakable body scripture. The secret scripture that Erlang Shen gave him was the first level of unbreakable body scripture. It was roughly strong enough to block knives, spears, and stick. However, if it was a firearm, then it would most likely be useless. What's more, unbreakable body scripture was actually just a layer of protective chi that could be released and retracted at will. Release it when you want to use it and retract it when you don't. 2 words. Convenient. Yeezy, what are you going to do on the weekend? How about it, do you want to go out with me? Su Yun leaned against his expensive Ferrari and raised his eyebrows towards Yi Zichen. Where would I have the time? I have to go home and bring my mom over. Before he finished, Yi Zichen's phone rang. The caller ID showed that it was Auntie. Actually, this auntie was not his relative, but a neighbor. However, she had always taken good care of his family. Auntie. The corner of Yi Zichen's mouth raised slightly, but his expression quickly turned cold. All right, I got it. Slap. The call ended. Yi Zichen's entire face turned terrifyingly green after picking up the phone. Yi, what happened? Yi, what exactly happened? Su Yun's face was filled with worry as he looked at Yi Zichen's green face. From start to finish, Yi Zichen maintained his silence. However, his fists were tightly clenched and didn't relax for a single moment. OL3, send me back home. Yi Zichen's home was a small village outside of Bingqing. Due to the development of cities and towns, the surrounding villages and suburbs were gradually bought and demolished by developers. Dozens of people gathered in front of a collapsed house. Most of them were residents of the village. Most of the villagers held shovels in their hands. There were also 10 odd men in black vests holding sticks and clubs in front of the developers. Mom, at that moment, a call sounded out from the crowd. The surrounding villagers and developers all turned their heads around. Isn't this Lil Ye's child? Many villagers recognized the person. At the same time, a woman walked out from the ruins. Although the woman wore plain clothes, her every movement carried a faint aura. What's more, her smile was extremely amiable. She was Yi Zichen's mother, Yi Rong. Zichen, why did you come back? Yi Rong's voice was filled with unconcealable joy. Yi Zichen quickly ran to her side and examined her a few times. Mom, are you hurt? No, when the developer demolished the house, I was with your aunt. Yi Rong's face was full of smiles, and her mood was not at all affected by the demolition of the house. Yi Zichen looked at the collapsed building with lingering fear. If his mother had really been inside at that time, when he thought about how close his mother had been to danger, Yi Zichen couldn't suppress the fury in his heart. He quickly walked to the front of the villagers and looked at the developer opposite. Who's the boss here? I am. A man of about 30 years old walked out from inside. Don't you know that demolition is very dangerous? What if there are people inside during the demolition? So what if there's someone inside? Let me tell you, it's better if there's someone inside. It's just a life, it's not like we can't afford it. The developer's representative's tone was filled with disdain. When the surrounding villagers heard that, they all revealed expressions of anger, while Yi Zichen's gaze also turned cold. Creak. Yi Zichen clenched his fist tightly, then looked up and stared at the developer. What did you say again? Brat, stop acting like a big shot here. I'm telling you, if someone dies during demolition, then so be it. He's lucky that he didn't die. Slap. A card was thrown at the developer's representative's face. There's 5 million in this card. What do you want to do? What? A cold light flashed across Yi Zichen's eyes. By your life. Brat, are you F***king seeking death? The developer's representative roared, then shouted towards the thugs behind him. Teach him a lesson. What's going on? Are you going to let me sleep? At that moment, a young man with a cigarette in his mouth walked out of a black MPV. The young man walked towards Yi Zichen with a frown. The developer's representative instantly smiled apologetically. Young Master Huang, someone wants to cause trouble. Who actually dares to cause trouble in my territory? The young man looked up with a frown. When he saw Yi Zichen, young Master Yi. This is your project, right? Young Master Yi, it's a misunderstanding, it's really a misunderstanding. The young man in front of Yi Zichen was Xiao Hai's cousin, Huang Ming. This project wasn't actually his family's. He just came here to join in the fun and see if he could use his cousin's face to get some benefit. Misunderstanding? Yi Zichen suddenly laughed. You're standing here, and you're telling me that all of this is a misunderstanding? Young Master Huang, hurry up and apologize to young Master Yi. Huang Ming raised his hand and slapped the developer's face, cursing loudly. The developer's representative also woke up from Huang Ming's slap. It was very clear that even Huang Ming couldn't afford to offend the young man in front of him. Young Master Yi, I didn't recognize MT Tai. Stop, I don't want to hear so much. Yi Zichen pointed at the card on the ground. Yi Zichen pointed at the card on the ground. This is the card to buy your life. Enjoy it while I'm not looking for you. I'll come and get it. As for you, Yi Zichen pointed at Huang Ming. I'll get even with you, but not now. Young Master Yi, this is really a misunderstanding. Please listen to my explanation, Huang Ming pleaded bitterly. His forehead and back were covered in fine beads of sweat. Young Master Yi, Zichen, you can't really be. Yi Rong was terrified when she heard that Yi Zichen was going to buy the developer's life. Just to scare him. This child, Yi Rong's face was full of rebuke, but she didn't blame him too much. Yi Zichen smiled, then glanced at the developer who was lying on the ground. This kind of person should be scared. You. Yi Rong shook her head helplessly. Yi Zichen chuckled, then held her hand. Mom, this house has been demolished anyway. Come to my place to live. All right. Yi Rong looked at the collapsed house helplessly. It was indeed impossible to continue living here. But the cost of living there is quite high. We haven't signed a contract with the developer yet. What if they don't pay us after we leave? He wouldn't dare to not pay. Don't you think so, young Master Huang? Yi Zichen smiled coldly and glanced at Huang Ming, who was not far away. Feeling that gaze, Huang Ming broke out in a cold sweat and nodded repeatedly. Yes, we will definitely pay. Then thank you, young Master Huang. Young Master Huang, save me. When Yi Zichen and Yi Rong left the crowd, the developer's representative held onto Huang Ming's arm tightly. Huang Ming kicked him away. Save your ass. Lousy, can't even protect myself. Huang Ming took out his phone with a trembling hand and said with a dejected expression. Chapter 29. Meeting Xiao Yumei by chance. Su Yun drove a two-seater car, so he couldn't take all three of them back. This guy was even more ruthless. He just made a phone call and he immediately called for another car. In the car, Yi Rong continuously asked Su Yun about the situation at school, while Su Yun replied with a laugh. Auntie Yi Zi is very powerful now. I don't have much money on hand, but I do have a few million. You should be prepared to enjoy your life. Where did so much money come from? Yi Rong was shocked. Zichen, you couldn't have gone down the wrong path, right? How could this be? Yi Zichen and Su Yun couldn't help but smile. Buzz, the phone in his pocket rang. It was Xiao Hai. If Yi Zichen had a sliver of a good impression of Xiao Hai before, then it could be said that he had no good impression at all now. It was rejected. Before long, Su Yun's phone rang. Yi Zi, I think it's for you. Su Yun handed the phone over. Yi Zichen snorted with a smile. I'm not answering. Take it. That kid Huang Ming doesn't do things properly, but Brother Hai is still a good person. For my sake, accept it. Otherwise, I'll be stuck in the middle. Yi Zichen let out a long sigh, then picked up the phone and put it by his ear. Lil Yi, I'm Brother Hai. Yes. Yi Zichen's tone was indescribably cold. Xiao Hai paused for a moment before replying. Huang Ming told me everything. I'm so sorry for scaring Auntie. Brother Hai, don't you think it's too late to apologize now? Yi Zichen snickered. Why didn't Huang Ming think about what would happen when he forcefully demolished it with the developer? Fortunately, my mother is lucky. If my mother was really in the house, can you bear the responsibility? Even if we take 10,000 steps back, and the person living inside is not my mother, but another villager, will you still come here to apologize? Lil Yi, Huang Ming was indeed in the wrong. We will compensate him. Compensation? What can you compensate us with? Money? Do you think I need your compensation? You just need to hand over the demolition money to me, and we'll be even. Yi Zichen drew the line clearly. Xiao Hai let out a sigh and smiled. Don't worry. All right, Brother Hai understands. Give the phone to Xiao Yun, I have a few words to say to him. Here. Yi Zichen chucked the phone into Su Yun's hands. Su Yun sighed softly in his heart, then put the phone beside his ear. Xiao Yun, help me persuade Xiao Yi. I'll try my best. Su Yun glanced at Yi Zichen, who was still angry. But I can't guarantee anything. Sorry to trouble you. Yi Zichen hung up, then turned around. Yi Zichen directly raised his hand. Don't be a peacemaker. I'm not that easy to talk to. What do you take me for? Su Yun rolled his eyes in annoyance. I know you're in a fit of anger, yet I'm still trying to persuade you. Isn't that asking for trouble? I just want to ask you, where are you going to let Auntie live? If she doesn't have a place to live, I have an empty villa. Why don't you let Auntie live there for now? No, I'll find a hotel room for my mother later. I'll go and buy a villa in the afternoon. Oh yeah, I forgot that you're a nouveau riche now. You brat. Yi Zichen couldn't help but shake his head with a smile. After settling Yi Rong down, Yi Zichen went straight to the sales center nearby. The moment he entered, the sales lady walked warmly to his side. Sir, do you want to look at a house? To be honest, Yi Zichen was rather confused. It seems like in novels there should be a scene where he gets cold-shouldered and slapped in the face. However, novels were novels, after all. The sales lady was still very professional. I want to see the villa. The sales lady clearly blanked out for a moment. She subconsciously scanned Yi Zichen's body. Although she was shocked, she still led the way with a smile. The mansion district was not the same as the normal high-rise district. After the sales lady brought Yi Zichen to the mansion district, the moment the sales lady brought Yi Zichen to the villa district, Yi Zichen heard a helpless call. Tian Tian, don't run around. Be good and stay by mommy's side. Tian Tian. Yi Zichen looked towards the source of the voice and saw Tian Tian run towards him with a smile and grab his leg. Daddy! Zichen. Xiao Yumei was also stunned. She looked at Yi Zichen, who had picked Tian Tian up in shock, while a hint of redness flashed across her face. The sales lady on the side was also stunned. She didn't think that this young man was actually Director Zhao's husband. It was fortunate that she didn't offend him just now, otherwise she would truly be in trouble. Sir, since you know Director Zhao, then I'll be leaving first. If there's anything you need to know, you can call me at any time. The sales lady tactfully retreated to the side, while Yi Zichen also walked towards Xiao Yumei with Tian Tian in his arms. Meijie, you're here as well. Uh-huh. For some reason, Xiao Yumei's gaze was evasive when she replied. Yi Zichen saw this, but he didn't think too much about it despite his confusion. After a moment of silence, the two of them spoke up at the same time. Xiao Yumei said as the two of them smiled at each other. Xiao Yumei spoke up, say it. Meijie, did you come here to buy a mansion? After asking, Yi Zichen felt like he asked such an idiot. If she didn't come here to buy a mansion, then what else could she have come for? Could she have come to pick up the sales lady? Xiao Yumei couldn't help but smile and nod. I did come to buy a mansion, but I wanted to buy it for you. But it seems like you want to buy a mansion as well? For me? Yi Zichen was stunned. At this moment Lil Tian Tian, who was in his arms, wanted to get down. Yi Zichen put Lil Tian Tian on the ground, then started to run around the hall. Tian Tian, don't run around. Director Xiao, we will take care of Tian Tian's safety. The sales lady smiled kindly. The real estate agent smiled kindly. Yi Zichen asked once again, why did you give me a mansion? I don't know how to repay you since you didn't help me solve the jewelry store's crisis, so I just want to give you a mansion. Even if you don't live in it, it can be used as real estate. Actually, there really isn't a need, slap. Wow! Before Yi Zichen finished, a clear slap sounded out in the hall, followed by Lil Tiantian's cries. Tian Tian. Xiao Yumei panicked and ran towards Tian Tian, while Yi Zichen followed closely behind. There was a clear mark of a palm on Tian Tian's face. The sales lady stood on the side helplessly and didn't know what to do. A woman stood in front of her. The woman was dressed seductively and cursed impatiently. Whose kid is running around here? Whose kid is running around here? The adults don't even care and dirted my new dress. How unlucky. Slap. While the woman was still spitting saliva everywhere, Xiao Yumei walked in front of Tian and hugged her. Chapter 30. Strong, this is a new collection from Paris Fashion Week, 130,000. The woman raised her chin, a hint of arrogance in her eyes. 130,000. Okay, I'll pay. Without any hesitation, Xiao Yumei took out a card from her wallet and threw it at the woman's face. There's 200,000 yuan in this card. Keep the change. Is this the attitude of an apology? The woman frowned and screamed. Do you think I'm apologizing to you? Xiao Yumei suddenly smiled. She looked at the woman and said coldly, This is only compensation for the trouble my child caused. We've already compensated you for the dress. Now I want to calculate the compensation for hitting my child. From the moment Xiao Yumei took out 200,000 without any hesitation, everyone in the hall knew that this wasn't going to end well. As expected, he was going to settle the score with him now. Xiao Tian was still in pain in his arms. Hearing the child's heart-wrenching cries, everyone in the hall felt sympathy for her. Xiao Yumei patted Xiao Tian's head with heartache. Tian, don't cry. Mommy will avenge you. Xiao Yumei calmed Tian down and sneered at the woman. Fixed price, 50 million. You've gone crazy thinking about money, the woman screamed. If you don't have 50 million, then I want the hand you used to hit Tian. He couldn't imagine what it felt like for a woman as beautiful as Xiao Yumei to say something like that. Yi Zichen also looked at this scene in shock. In his impression, Mei Jie wasn't such an impulsive person. However, when he thought of Tian's situation, Yi Zichen understood. Tian was her reverse scale. She would fight to the death with anyone who dared to touch her. Before the woman could speak, Xiao Yumei had already made a call. Brother Tiger, right? Yes, I'm Xiao Yumei. I want to ask you to help me deal with someone. 5 million, I want one of her hands. Yes, I'm at the sales center of Wanqing Real Estate. Send someone to meet me. The woman who hit Tian never expected Xiao Yumei to be serious. She reached out her hand to grab Xiao Yumei's phone, but was stopped by Yi Zichen. Be quiet. When Tian saw Yi Zichen, her cries gradually quieted down. Dad! Tian, be a good girl. Don't cry. Yi Zichen smiled warmly and rubbed Tian's cheeks. The voice seemed to have a magical power, and Xiao Tian gradually stopped crying. Tian. Xiao Yumei's eyes were filled with worry. The handprint on Tian's face was still clearly visible. From this, one could tell how much strength this woman had used when she hit him. You are committing a crime, I want to call the police. What's wrong with crime? Xiao Yumei suddenly sneered. From the moment you slapped Tian, you've already been sentenced to death in my heart. One of your hands is just the interest. Don't doubt me, I have 10,000 ways to make you disappear from this world without a trace. What happened? A loud shout came from outside the villa's sales area, and a man walked in with a frown. The man's appearance was very normal, but for some reason, people couldn't help but feel a sense of trust towards him when they saw him. The moment the man appeared, the woman, who had nearly scared Xiao Yumei, quickly ran towards him. When you finally came. If you came any later, then you might not be able to see me. The woman cried and complained. However, Yi Zichen noticed that Xiao Yumei's face turned pale when the man appeared. Haowen. Yumei? Haowen was stunned for a moment, then quickly walked towards Xiao Yumei. Yumei, how have you been these years? Stop pretending here, Xiao Yumei suddenly smiled, then quickly walked towards Xiao Yumei. Xiao Yumei suddenly smiled. Her eyes carried a sense of distance that made it impossible for others to approach her. We aren't that close, please stay away from me. No matter what, we were once husband and wife. Is there a need to be so extreme? Wow. The people in the hall instantly went into an uproar. They didn't think that the two people in front of them actually had such a relationship. I was blind to have been with you before. At that moment, a group of hulks wearing black vests walked in from outside. The person in the lead was a bald man with a large gold chain and a vest with a tiger print on it. Director Xiao. Hu Ji, you came. Hey, I always come personally for big business deals. Say it, whose hand do you want? Hu Ji touched his bald head, while a ferocious light appeared in his eyes. Her. Xiao Yumei's expression instantly turned cold as she pointed at the woman beside Hao Wen. Grab her, Wen Ji. The woman kicked her legs and screamed. Hao Wen's eyes twitched as he questioned Xiao Yumei. What are you doing? Nothing, she hit Tian, so I'm going to make her pay. Oh yeah, it's fine if you help her pay. 50 million. Director Xiao, it's a bit inappropriate for me, Tiger. You asked for 50 million, yet you gave Tiger 5 million. The bald-headed tiger rubbed his head, while Xiao Yumei chuckled. Xiao Yumei also smiled. Hu Ji, I, Xiao Yumei, am not that kind of stingy person. Xiao Yumei also smiled. It's not certain whether he will give it or not. If he really does, then I'll give Hu Ji double the amount. Director Xiao is generous. Hu Ji raised his thumb towards Xiao Yumei, then indicated towards his subordinate. What are you blanking out for? Hold her down. As long as Director Xiao says it, then chop off this woman's hand. Xiao Yumei, don't bullshit with me. Either give me the money or I'll take one of her hands. Madness appeared in Xiao Yumei's eyes. When Hao Wen saw her gaze, he felt a chill in his heart. He did not doubt the truth of Xiao Yumei's words at all. For Tian, she could really do anything. Alright, I'll give. Let Han Jing go. Hao Wen took out a check and wrote 50 million on it before handing it to Xiao Yumei. Yi Zichen clearly saw that Xiao Yumei's hand trembled intensely when she saw the check. Alright, thank you, Director Hao. Hu Ji, let her go. Let her go. Hu Ji kicked his subordinate and let go of Han Jing. Let's go. When Yi Zichen left the mansion area with Han Jing, Hu Ji also laughed loudly. Director Xiao is truly a big boss. You got 50 million in such a short amount of time. This is much faster and safer than us fighting and killing people. Hu Ji is truly joking. I'll transfer 10 million to your account tonight. Sure. Hu Ji left the real estate center with his subordinates, causing everyone in the real estate center to let out a sigh of relief. It was fortunate that no blood had actually been spilled. Meijie, since everyone had left, Yi Zichen walked beside Xiao Yumei. When he got closer, Yi Zichen saw that there were faint tears in Xiao Yumei's eyes. She held the check worth 50 million tightly in her right hand, then, rip, she tore the check into pieces and threw it onto the floor. Everyone in the lobby looked at this scene in shock. 50 million. She tore it just like that. Other people might not understand Xiao Yumei, but Yi Zichen did. Zichen, can you hug me? Yi Zichen nodded with a smile, then pulled Xiao Yumei into his arms. At the next moment, he burst into tears. Yeah. Even if Xiao Yumei was being domineering, what couldn't change was, she was a woman. Chapter 31. Furious because of a beauty within Xiao Yumei's home, Yi Zichen and Xiao Yumei sat across from each other on the sofa, while a bottle of 2002 red wine was placed on the coffee table between them. Nearly half of the red wine was drunk, and most of it was drunk by Xiao Yumei. Zichen. Xiao Yumei put down the wine cup, then looked up and called out softly. Meijie, I'm here. After drinking a few glasses of red wine, Xiao Yumei's face turned slightly red from being drunk. Her blurred eyes and slightly raised lips caused her, who was already charming, to attract men's gazes even more. Say, do you think that I'm such a failure as a woman? How could that be? Meijie already has such a large jewelry business at such a young age. There aren't many people that can compare to you in business. I say, as a woman, Xiao Yumei was a bit drunk, so she stuttered a bit. Yi Zichen didn't dare to reply. If he did, then it would only make Xiao Yumei feel even worse. We met when we were in university. Xiao Yumei leaned back on the sofa, while her blurred eyes carried a faint reminiscence. At that time, he was still a poor kid. At that time, I was quite happy to be with him. I ignored my family's objections and got together with him. The two of us worked hard together and started from nothing together. Although we weren't especially rich, we at least had enough to eat. But I don't know when it started, but he started to like chasing after fame and fortune. He would do anything to achieve his goals. Do you know why we got a divorce? Magia, you drank too much, go rest. Yizichin felt like these weren't things that he should know. He stood up from the sofa and wanted to take Xiaoyumei back to their room, but Xiaoyumei's words caused him to stop. The reason why we got a divorce is rather funny. He actually made me pay that boss for a month for a business deal. Xiaoyumei smiled, but tears flowed down uncontrollably. Funny, right? He made his woman sleep with another man for a month for a business deal. Magia, that's not even funnier. What's funnier is that he didn't even touch me. I got into a huge fight with him over this, and got a divorce. I left my family with nothing. After that, I adopted Tian. I thought that without him, my life would return to normal, but he spread rumors around our friends, saying that I was a loose woman and that I was a cuckold. Don't you think it's ridiculous? Sister Mei, you drank too much. Go to sleep. Yizichin held Xiaoyumei's shoulders and carried her up. When he sent her to the bed in the bedroom, she continued to repeat, ridiculous, right? In self-mockery. Creak. After leaving the room, Yizichin's expression instantly turned terrifyingly dark. He couldn't help but replay Xiaoyumei's helpless eyes in the sales center, as well as her self-deprecating and laughable helplessness. The corners of his mouth rose slightly as he looked at the sleeping Xiaoyumei. Trust me, I will make that man pay. Huang Ming, I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. Haowen, I want this man to lose everything. Xiao family. Dong dong dong. That night, Huang Ming wasn't having fun in the nightclub. He hurriedly drove to the Xiao family and banged on the door. Young Master Huang. I want to see cousin Xiao Hai. Within the mansion's study, Huang Ming arrived in front of Xiao Hai under the guidance of the butler. What did you come to find me for so late at night? Xiao Hai was truly furious when he saw his cousin. At that moment, he was worrying about how to make Yizichin calm down. Biaoga, young master Yi called me just now. He said that he'll give me a chance to redeem myself. His request. Xiao Hai abruptly stood up from his chair. For a CEO like him, who managed a large corporation, there were very few things that could cause him to have such a huge emotional fluctuation. He wants a man called Haowen to lose everything. Butler. Xiao Hai called out. Then, the elder that brought Huang Ming over quickly walked in once again. Young Master Xiao. Investigate a man called Haowen. I want all of his information. Yes. What they didn't know was that Yizichin's call caused a huge uproar in Bingqing's business circle. Countless medium to large corporations were affected. All of this was because of a woman. A great rage for a beauty. That was exactly what was happening right now. The mansion that Yizichin chose for Yirong was in an ecological garden area. It was beside a mountain and a river, giving it the feeling of a paradise. Of course, the price was also incomparably expensive. 10 million. Xiaoyumei paid for it. She said that she was going to give it to Yizichin. However, how could Yizichin accept it? He wrote an IOU. I owe it to him. Zichin, there's a new batch of ores being auctioned off. Come take a look with older sister and help older sister pick 2 ores, okay? When Xiaoyumei and Lil Tian stood outside the mansion, Yizichin nodded with a smile. Of course, but what about that expert Lu? He told me to open it, Xiaoyumei replied calmly. She would definitely be a queen in ancient times with such decisive killing method. It's good that he opened it. That's why I'm saying, older sister doesn't have anyone to look at stones right now. Little brother Zichin, you have to come and help older sister. Xiaoyumei smiled coquettishly. Yizichin instantly felt his entire body soften. Magia, don't talk to other men like this in the future? Why? Xiaoyumei smiled despite knowing the answer. Yi Zichen shrugged. You're too powerful. I'm afraid that you'll electrocute those people. I'm going to get jealous. Is that so? Then from now on, Big Sister will only tell you. The two of them laughed softly. The atmosphere was indescribably good. However, there would always be some blind people who would ruin this atmosphere. You may let me go. A man with dirt all over his face stumbled and crawled to Xiao Yumei's side. His sudden appearance startled Xiao Yumei. She looked over and saw that it was Haowen. What do you want me to let go of? Xiao Yumei was at a loss, but Haowen grabbed her ankle and said, Yumei, I know I've let you down in the past. I was wrong, I beg you, let me go. Let go of me. Xiao Yumei tried to force Haowen to let go, but he held onto her thigh tightly and refused to let go. Bang! Yi Zichen kicked him away. What's wrong with this property management? How can they just let anyone in? Security! Several security guards appeared in front of Yi Zichen and company and dragged Haowen out. At this moment, Haowen also cursed loudly. Xiao Yumei, you slut, whore! Buzz! Yi Zichen's phone rang. He picked it up and placed it by his ear. Lil Yi, your request is for Haowen to lose everything. It should be published in the newspapers soon. Hai Ji really acted quickly, but there's no need to wait for the newspapers. Haowen already came to find us. Haowen actually went to find you guys, Xiao Hai exclaimed. Then you aren't injured, right? No, I appreciate Hai Ji's kindness. I will deal with the old man's situation as soon as possible. Alright, then Hai Ji will wait for Lil Ye's arrival. Oh yeah, the card I sent someone to give you in the morning is our corporation's VVVIP card. As long as it's a company under our corporation, you can enjoy free treatment with this card. So cool. Yi Zichen took out a golden card from his pocket and played around with it. Thanks. Yi Zichen hung up the phone, then looked towards Xiao Yumei with a bright smile, only to see that her eyes were already red. Chapter 32. Affability level up. Yi Zichen reached out his hand and patted Xiao Yumei's back as he felt the warm body in his arms. Meijie, you heard it. Yi Zichen smiled gently. However, he saw Xiao Yumei suddenly raise her head and directly bite his lip. Ding dong. Your affability level with Xiao Yumei increased by 50. Current affability level, 145. Your affability level with Xiao Yumei increased by 50. Current affability level, 195. Your affability level with Xiao Yumei increased by 50. Current affability level, 245. Yi Zichen didn't even know how many affability points popped up. At that moment, he was completely immersed in Xiao Yumei's gentleness. Daddy, Mommy, Tian is hungry. Just as the two of them were reluctant to part, Lil Tian pulled on the corner of their clothes. Hearing that, the two of them immediately separated. The two of them looked at each other awkwardly. Xiao Yumei squatted down and picked Tian up. Tian is hungry. Mommy is going to bring Tian to eat. Daddy is coming too. I'm going, Yi Zichen smiled, then placed his finger on his lips. Seeing his actions, Xiao Yumei immediately glared at him. Ding dong. Your affability level with Xiao Yumei increased by 5. Current affability level, 500. Affability level up. Relationship status, lovers. Lovers. Yi Zichen was stunned. The marriage string wouldn't lie. Could they really have become lovers? But all of this happened too quickly. Yi Zichen subconsciously looked towards Xiao Yumei, and noticed that Xiao Yumei was also looking at him with infatuation. Meijie. Don't call me Meijie, it makes me sound old. How about you call me Yumei? Xiao Yumei blushed. Actually, she didn't want to get involved with Yi Zichen. She felt like she wasn't worthy of him. However, for some reason, after finding out everything he did for her, her heart was uncontrollably attracted to him. Thus, she didn't force herself. She'll just let nature take its course. What's more, Tian liked him as well. That was more important than anything else. Even if she knew that she couldn't stand by Yi Zichen's side in the future, she'll just be the person behind him. Yuyume. Daddy, Mommy, Tian is hungry. Tian's childish voice carried a hint of displeasure. Yi Zichen and Xiao Yume immediately rubbed her head. Okay, let's go eat now. The restaurant Yi Zichen chose was one of the restaurants under the Glory Corporation. Actually, he had no other choice, all his money was spent on the mansion, and he still had a lot of debts. Even though he and Xiao Yume were currently lovers, he couldn't spend a woman's money. Coincidentally, Xiao Hai gave him a VVVIP card. It was free, so he might as well freeload. Sir, madam, how many? Just a family of three. Yi Zichen smiled. When Xiao Yume heard him say, a family of 3, she blushed, while her eyes filled with joy. This way, please. Isn't this our school's rich bro? A discordant voice suddenly sounded out in the restaurant. Yi Zichen rubbed his temples. How unlucky. Why did he have to meet these two people here? Guochang walked in front of Yi Zichen with Yao Yu and smiled towards the waiter. Waiter, our restaurant seems to be a high-end consumer. I know him very well, he can't afford the expenses here at all. Yao Yu, we've already split up, why do you have to be so persistent with me? Yi Zichen revealed a helpless expression. He just couldn't understand. He didn't do anything wrong to his ex-girlfriend, it was fine if they split up, but why did she always find trouble for him? Who's persistent with you? I just wanted to remind this restaurant so that they wouldn't suffer any losses. Yao Yu laughed coldly without letting it go. Daddy, Tian is hungry. Tian pulled the corner of Yi Zichen's clothes, then picked her up and pinched her cheek. Let's go eat now. Daddy. Yao Yu looked at Yi Zichen and Xiao Yume as if she discovered a new continent. Can't be, you became a gigolo? Little girl, watch your words. Xiao Yume couldn't stand it anymore. She was able to guess that Yao Yu should be Yi Zichen's ex-girlfriend, but this ex-girlfriend was too mean. What, you're unhappy? Yao Yu, shut up, Guochang shouted. Guochang roared. If it wasn't for Xiao Yume's words, he wouldn't have noticed her. Although she was a young married woman with a child, her face and body were all top quality. Especially those alluring eyes, if it was him or Guochang couldn't help but lick his lips. At this moment, he also took out a name card and handed it to Xiao Yume. Beauty, let's get to know each other. Yao Yu's face stiffened the moment Guochang took out the name card. He was picking up a girl in front of her. However, she didn't dare to say anything. She could only glare at Xiao Yume fiercely, and wanted to scratch her face. Not interested. Xiao Yume twitched her mouth in disdain, then hooked her arm around Yi Zichen's. Beauty, don't get tricked by this brat, he's just a poor loser, Guochang tried to persuade her. Xiao Yume didn't even look at Guochang when he tried to persuade her. Zichen, how about we go to another restaurant to eat? Guochang's expression turned a bit ugly. He couldn't understand why Yi Zichen's luck was so good. He thought that Yao Yu was already pretty good. He didn't think that this brat actually found a young married woman that was even more charming than Yao Yu after breaking up with her. Why do we have to change places? Just eat here. If we go somewhere else, you know that I don't have money. I have money, Xiao Yume smiled. I don't want to spend your money, Yi Zichen rubbed his nose. He took out a card from his pocket and handed it to the waiter. I heard that this card is free, is that so? Supreme VIP card. There seemed to only be 3 in the entire corporation. He didn't expect to see one here. Sir, this card is our corporation's Supreme VIP card. You can enjoy the same treatment as the CEO. Wait, you're saying that this is a Supreme VIP card? Guochang didn't believe that Yi Zichen could take out such a high-level card, so he intentionally caused trouble. Are you sure that this isn't fake? About this, the waiter was also a bit hesitant. He hesitated for a moment before replying, Sir, it's my first time seeing a Supreme VIP card as well. Can I get our manager to take a look? Then hurry up. Not long later, the restaurant manager quickly walked over. He had no choice but to hurry when he heard that someone had a Supreme VIP card. Which Mr. has a Supreme VIP card? Here, Yi Zichen handed the card over. Yi Zichen handed the card over. The manager merely glanced at it, then respectfully handed it over. Sir, please. The manager's actions clearly proved the authenticity of the card. Yi Zichen nodded, then pulled Xiao Yumei's hand and walked in with Lil Tiantian. However, he turned back halfway. You can enjoy the same treatment as the CEO with this card, right? Yes, sir. Oh, then kick these two people out, they're affecting my appetite. Chapter 33. Yeah, I was looking for you. Since Xiao Hai helped him so much, Yi Zichen felt like he had to quickly return the favor. When he opened the WeChat chat group, it was actually filled with the legend of him and Erlang Shen's fight back then. Some immortals who didn't know anything would ask about it out of curiosity. It seemed that all immortals were like this. The fire of gossip would never be extinguished. God of Thunder, that celestial sovereign, was like a flash in the pan. Ever since he fought with Erlang Shen, he never appeared again. Immortality Peach Fairy. Yeah, that immortal sovereign is the idol of a few of my sisters. Barefoot Immortal, someone who dared to fight against Erlang True Lord, is definitely this one. 3 thumbs up followed. Immortality Peach Fairy. Agreed. God of Thunder, I agree +1. Wu Gang, I agree +2. Yi Zichen could only helplessly leave the chat group and open the chat with the Monkey King. This fellow had not taken the initiative to look for him for the past few days. This was a little out of character. Yi Zichen thought about it, then sent a greeting message. Great Sage, what are you busy with? No reply. This was too strange. In the past, he would reply within seconds. Ding dong. Yi Zichen's phone suddenly vibrated, causing him to open the chat group out of reflex. Sure enough, there was a red packet lying on it, and the person who sent it was Old Lord Taishang. Snatch. He was too slow, and the red packets were all snatched. He slapped his thigh. Old Lord Taishang's red packet was exactly what Yi Zichen needed. F***CK, I haven't gotten it yet. He glanced at the other people's luck. Damn, it was a great recovery pill. Ding dong. Another red packet was sent out. I poke. Sorry, all the red packets have been snatched. Soon, there was another red envelope. I'll snatch. You have received Old Lord Taishang's red packet. Great Recover Pill X3. I got it. Yi Zichen's body trembled. I finally got it. However, he was also a little curious. Why did Old Lord Taishang suddenly start giving out red packets, and so many of them at that? More importantly, the group was eerily quiet. No one was talking. Yi Zichen scrolled up the chat history. Old Lord Taishang, stop, it's time to pay. Payroll. For some reason, Yi Zichen recalled what the Great Sage had said. The great recovery pills that Old Lord Taishang refined were all for the heavenly soldiers to eat. So that's what happened. If that was the case, wouldn't there still be hair? As expected, Old Lord Taishang sent another dozen or so red packets. Yi Zichen fought with all his might, but he didn't manage to get any. Zichen, why are you playing with your phone? Xiao Yumei sat over, while Yi Zichen waved his phone in front of her. Snatching red packets. Pooh. Xiao Yumei couldn't help but laugh. Just how poor are you? If you really don't have money, I can give you some. With that, she took the card out. Yi Zichen quickly pushed it back in. What? Are you trying to support me? Don't forget, all your money was earned by that stone of mine. Yeah, our Zichen is amazing. Xiao Yumei smiled. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen was a bit stunned, and his hands uncontrollably reached into his clothes. Stop messing around, Tian is still here. Xiao Yumei slapped his hand away. Yi Zichen scratched his head and smiled apologetically. However, Xiao Yumei whispered into his ear, "Come to my place tonight." Boom. The power of desolation within his body surged out. Yi Zichen gulped as he looked at Xiao Yumei's teasing gaze. Daddy, Mommy, Tian is full. I don't know why this Lil Tian always appears at times like this. I'm full. Mommy will take Tian to wash her hands. Xiao Yumei even gave Yi Zichen a flirtatious smile before going over to Tiantian's place. This vixen, when Yi Zichen left the restaurant, the manager and waiters all stood in a row and respectfully sent Yi Zichen off. Even Yi Zichen couldn't handle it. On the other hand, Xiao Yumei was completely calm. It was clear that she was already used to this sort of situation. Are you going to my place? Xiao Yumei smiled towards Yi Zichen, while her alluring eyes carried a hint of anticipation. What do you think? Yi Zichen wrapped his arms around her waist without any hesitation. F***ck, if I don't go after seducing me like that, am I still a man? But damn it, the dorm's boss, Kong Peng, called him. Hey, what's up? If not, then I'm hanging up. F***ck, calling him right now. Isn't this wasting my time? Yi, hurry up and come back. If you don't, then I'm screwed. Kong Peng was crying on the phone. He looked like he had been beaten. Yi Zichen glanced at Xiao Yumei's face, then heard Kong Peng's bitter voice. I'm there, I'll be right there. Second floor of Oban Net Cafe. Hurry up and come. Okay. Yi Zichen chucked his phone into his pocket and wanted to explain to Xiao Yumei, but she spoke first. Is there something urgent? A bro in the dorm seems to have gotten into some trouble. I'm going over to take a look. Yi Zichen scratched his head, then swiped his finger across Xiao Yumei's cheek. Next time, can I go to your place next time? Go do what you have to do. I'm yours, you can come anytime. Xiao Yumei smiled warmly, then kissed Yi Zichen's lips softly, then got into the car. Yi Zichen touched his lips, which still had a lingering fragrance, and let out a long sigh. Of all times, you just had to come at this time. Yi Zichen quickly arrived at the second floor of Oban Net Cafe. At that moment, most of the people there were university students nearby. Everyone sat in their seats and played games, and didn't seem like they were fighting at all. Yi Zichen looked around the second floor, then saw Kong Peng sitting at the second machine by the window, and playing in a frenzy. Slap. Yi Zichen slapped Kong Peng's earphones off. That grandson. Yi Zi, you're back. Kong Peng scratched his head and smiled idiotically. Yi Zichen was about to explode from anger. When he heard Kong Peng cry over the phone, he thought that Kong Peng got beaten up. F***ck, tricking me? It's fine if I tricked him normally, but just now. Yi Zichen clenched his teeth and clenched his fist, causing the veins on his forehead to bulge. You better give me a satisfactory explanation, otherwise, creak. Clenching his fists tightly, Kong Peng swallowed his saliva and said, It wasn't me looking for you, it was someone else. Who? Tell me who's looking for me. Yi Zichen glared, then grabbed Kong Peng's collar. Do you F***king know how much of Laozi's business you delayed? I gave up so many important things to come back. Yi Zi, don't be impulsive, calm down. Kong Peng signaled Yi Zichen to not get angry, then pointed at an empty machine beside him. She's looking for you. Who? Me. A clear giggle sounded out from behind Yi Zichen. He turned around and saw Xia Kiki standing behind him with a smile. Chapter 34. Offline solo tournament. Yi Zichen felt extremely annoyed as he looked at Xia Kiki, who was smiling sweetly behind him. He hadn't even settled the score with her for messing things up between him and Su Yan. Now, she had taken the initiative to deliver herself to his doorstep. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes at Xia Kiki, then sat down on the chair and played with his phone. Kong Peng. Here. Kong Peng, who was 9 meters tall, scared Xia Kiki like a mouse that saw a cat. He directly chucked the mouse to the side and bumped Yi Zichen with his elbow. Yezi, how can you speak to Goddess Xia like that? Don't bother me. I don't like the look of you now. He pointed his finger at Kong Peng's nose. This brat actually had the face to persuade him. Damn it, he ruined everything. If it wasn't for their friendship as roommates for 2 years, he really wanted to slap him so hard that he wouldn't even be able to pull him off the wall. Yi Zi, big brother, was forced into a corner. Kong Peng sneaked a peek at Xia Kiki, who was behind him with her hands on her waist. Do you still remember the old friend you beat up the other day? What's wrong with that grandson? Who are you calling a grandson? Xia Kiki instantly exploded. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes at her in annoyance and scolded, "Girl, how did you learn to pick up insults after not seeing each other for a few days?" Very quickly, when Yi Zichen noticed Kong Peng's expression, his eyes immediately widened. "Old friend, it's you? You're right. The grandson you mentioned just now is me. But didn't you say that you were a transcendent master? Booster, do you understand?" Xia Kiki was so angry that she nearly bit Yi Zichen into pieces. Xia Kiki had been holding a grudge ever since she was beaten up that day. She thought to herself that when she had the chance to find this person, she would definitely solo him offline. Coincidentally, the school had a power outage at night. She still had a few orders to play, so she thought of coming to the internet cafe to play. However, she happened to see the ID that she hated so much. Xia Kiki's head heated up. She grabbed Kong Peng's ear and was about to confront him for an offline solo. After 5 rounds, every round exploded. Only later did she find out that Yi Zichen was the one leading the fight that day. Only then did she tell Kong Peng to call Yi Zichen back, in order to redeem herself. Substitute leveling? Yi Zichen's face was filled with disbelief. Xia Kiki didn't lack money at all, so why would she help him level up? Earn my own living? Was there something wrong with him? Yi Zichen wasn't a rich second generation. If he was, then he would be more of a spoiled brat than anyone else. Don't look at me like that. I just like to play this game. If I can earn money playing games, why wouldn't I do it? Xia Kiki's reply caused Yi Zichen to roll his eyes and look at the 2 empty machines on the side. It seemed like Xia Kiki was determined to solo him. Are you sure you want to fight me? Of course. Then let's wait for a while. Yi Zichen went up to the front desk and swiped his ID, then turned on the computer. He logged into the game. Welcome to the number 160 glorious Golden 3. Welcome, Master Transcendent, number 159, to our online cafe. Transcendent Master. The people in the internet cafe all stood up when they heard the news and gathered around their seat. Sister, beautiful sister. Holy shit, isn't this the Polytechnic University's beauty, Xia Kiki? The goddess is actually a transcendent master. Zone 1, oh my god! Yi Zichen indicated towards Xia Kiki with a look of helplessness. There are a bunch of your fanatical fans behind you. Do you want me to leave you some face? If you want to solo, then solo properly. I don't need you to go easy on me. What's more, it's not certain who will win yet. The moment Xia Kiki finished, Yi Zichen received her friend request. Not long later, he received a game invite. Offline solo. This bro is a transcendent as well. Wait, I think it was Golden 3 just now, I forgot. Yi Zichen and Xia Kiki very tacitly ignored the crowd behind them. Best of 5, 1 blood, 1 tower, 100 attacks. Understood. Yi Zichen made an OK gesture. The game began. Both sides used tribulation for the first round. It was also Yi Zichen's first time robbing this hero. There was no helping it, he had always played support before. Before the game started, he was still looking up guides on Baidu. F***CK, is this brat good or not? Is he looking at guides? Yi Zichen glanced at Xia Kiki. This girl was truly a fanatical fan of the Alliance. She forgot everything once she started playing. Yi Zichen admired that level of focus. But what was the use of admiration? First blood. What just happened? The goddess lost? It can't be, the Golden destroyed a transcendent. Could it be that our goddess is also hugging someone's leg? Next round. Yi Zichen walked around Xia Kiki's game character's corpse twice. Xia Kiki's face was completely green as she stared straight at the screen. How did she die? The damage calculation wasn't wrong. Next round. He chose the hero Yao Ji. First blood. The crowd was completely speechless. Yi Zichen once again used overdrive to walk around Xia Kiki's character's corpse twice. Next round. Next round. Third round blind monk. Yi Zichen was very clear that if he played properly, there was no doubt that Xia Kiki would still lose. It wasn't that she wasn't at the level of a transcendent master, it was just that Yi Zichen was too good. Not to mention a transcendent master, even if a challenger with 1,000 points came, he would still beat her up. Yi Zichen looked toward Xia Kiki. At that moment, the little loli's face was no longer as calm as before. She pursed her lips tightly, while her entire body tensed up. Even if Yi Zichen randomly threw a cue, Xia Kiki would click her mouse like crazy. Yi Zichen smiled, but still chose to fight her head-on. First blood. This time, Xia Kiki won. I messed up. This hand. Yi Zichen pretended to slap the back of his hand in annoyance. Seeing that, the crowd let out a sigh of relief. That's more like it. How could a gold beat a transcendent master? Xia Kiki pursed her lips slightly. She copied Yi Zichen's actions from the previous 2 sentences and controlled her character to walk around his character's court. Next round. Even her tone was the same. Next round. Yi Zichen smiled when he saw that Xia Kiki had regained her focus. Not long later, Yi Zichen lost again. Yi Zichen still lost the 5th round. Best of 5. Xia Kiki won. Amazing, Kiki, your technique isn't bad. Alright, you won the offline solo. Yi Zichen leaned back, stretched lazily, then logged out of League of Legends. I'm so tired, I'm going back to sleep. Yi Zichen twisted his neck and walked out. Xia Kiki bit her lips, then chased after him after a moment of hesitation. Chapter 35. Team Invitation, Hey. Xia Kiki chased after him the moment he walked out of the internet cafe. Why did you come out as well? Yi Zichen smiled. Xia Kiki ran beside him with a frown. Why did you go easy on me? No, I'm a very competitive person, how could I go easy on you? Alright, it's getting late, go back and rest. It's not good for girls' skin to play games so late every day. Yi Zichen waved his hand with his back facing Xia Kiki, then crossed the road. I'll beat you sooner or later. Ding dong. Marriage string received. Holder, Yi Zichen. Possessed, Xia Kiki. Current affability level, 10. Yi Zichen, who walked to the other side of the road, nearly coughed up blood. The reason he was in such a hurry to leave was because he was afraid something like this would happen. However, what was going to happen still happened. The next day, since Yi Zichen had the great recovery pill, he directly sent it to Xiao Hai since he wasn't one to procrastinate. Lil Yi, thank you so much. Xiao Hai's arms trembled slightly as he held the jade bottle in his hands. Yi Zichen might not know what this pill meant. However, Xiao Hai did. Although the Xiao family was still one of the top families in Bingqing, he had only taken over the family business not long ago due to the old man's illness and his father not being good at business. The company was already on the downside. For the sake of this pill, he went all out and helped Yi Zichen make Haowen lose everything. Who knew how many families he offended? However, all of this was for this pill. As long as the old man could stand up again, then the Xiao family would not fall. Haiji helped me out a lot, of course I have to give this pill to Haiji. No need to be so polite, Yi Zichen shrugged. Oh yeah, how's Haowen? If nothing unexpected happens, he should be spending the rest of his life in prison. He deserves it. Yi Zichen snorted coldly. Thinking about how he already did what he needed to do, he waved goodbye towards Xiao Hai. Haiji, I should go. Wait a moment, I still have a present for you. With that, a silver-white Porsche 918 drove over. When Yi Zichen saw the car, there was only one in front of him. To be honest, he didn't know much about cars, but he had seen this kind of limited edition supercar on Baidu. It was said that this car was limited to 918 units, and it was even harder to find in the country. For you. Xiao Hai noticed Yi Zichen's expression and pointed at the 918 with a smile. Give me a gift? Yi Zichen gulped when he saw Xiao Hai's confident gaze. If it was any other gift, Yi Zichen might have declined. But this car, thank you, Brother Hai. Yi Zichen truly couldn't resist the temptation of the car, so he licked his lips and moved towards the car. Buzz, Yi Zichen, who had just gotten his beloved car, was trying it out. However, the urgent call forced him to stop the car. Hey! Yi Zichen, I'm Xia Kiki. Come to the cold drinks store beside the school. What? I'm looking for you. You dare to not come? Yi Zichen didn't really want to get involved in too many relationships. After he confirmed his relationship with Xiao Yumei, he didn't have so many playful thoughts. Deep down, he was actually quite conservative. Only monogamy could build a harmonious home. Hey, are you listening to me? Xia Kiki, who was on the other side of the phone, panicked. I'll be right there. Yi Zichen chucked his phone to the side, then rolled down the window and waved towards Xiao Hai. Brother Hai, I'm leaving. 10 minutes later, in a cold drink shop next to the school. This was a place where most of the university students gathered. Yi Zichen drove the Porsche 918 and found a place to stop, then prepared to walk towards the cold drink store. However, it had underestimated the attention of this sports car. As soon as the sports car appeared, all the students in the shop rushed out and stared at it. When they saw Yi Zichen get out of the car, the eyes of many female students sparkled. Quite a few sharp-eyed people recognized Yi Zichen and couldn't help but exclaim, "Tyrant bro, he's Tyrant bro. Which rich bro? You don't even know Tycoon bro? He's the one who's been trending on the school website recently. Wow, Porsche 918. This Tycoon bro is truly a tycoon. I'm going to leave the group and join Tycoon bro's fan club." Yi Zichen rubbed his forehead when he heard the conversation of the surrounding students. It seemed like there was going to be another wave of discussion on the school website. When Yi Zichen entered the cold drink store, plenty of female students followed him in. Perhaps this was the celebrity effect. There would always be some fans no matter where he went. Here. Yi Zichen saw Xia Kiki wave towards him from the window of the cold drink store. However, she wasn't alone. There was a woman wearing a cap beside her. Looking for me? Yi Zichen sat on the chair. When Xia Kiki heard his slightly perfunctory tone, a hint of bitterness appeared in her eyes. What? Are you very unhappy that I'm looking for you? No, no, Yi Zichen quickly waved his hand. Xia Kiki rolled her eyes at him, then pointed at the woman beside her. Actually, I wasn't looking for you, she was. Who are you? Hello, I'm only me platform streamer Jing Wan. The woman took off her cap and reached out her hand towards Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen paused for a moment when he saw the woman. Oh wow, she's pretty. If she was in Polytechnic University, she would be one of the top school beauties. As I thought, all streamers are pretty. Yi Zichen subconsciously used the fiery eyes of truth to take a look. Completely natural. Yi Zichen shook her hand simply. He couldn't help but notice that the girl's fingers were very long. They would definitely be good at playing the piano. What's more, her hands were very soft, giving people a feeling of being boneless. I was there when you and Kiki played offline yesterday. Oh. Yi Zichen replied indifferently, then called the waiter over and ordered a glass of lemon juice. Yi Zichen's nonchalant tone caused Jing Wan to be stunned. She was a huge streamer with over 1 million fans on the Only Me streaming platform, but she had never been treated so coldly before. Yi Zichen, talk to Jing Wan properly. She's very famous on the Only Me streaming platform, and she's very good at games. Xia Kiki couldn't stand it anymore, so she warned him. Yi Zichen raised his hand and nodded helplessly. All right. Then, Jing Wan, may I ask what exactly do you want from me? Yi Zichen. Never mind. Jing Wan stopped Xia Kiki with a smile. It must be said, this girl's smile was rather charming. I want to start a team. Jing Wan suddenly stood up from the chair, then reached out her white hand towards Yi Zichen with her head lowered. Chapter 36. Elimination Dog, Lil White Team Invitation. Yi Zichen took a sip of the lemon juice, but did not shake hands with Jing Wan. Miss Jingwan, don't be so anxious. We haven't talked about anything. Isn't it a bit bad for you to invite me to join your team? What do you need? What can you give me? Yi Zichen pursed his lips and smiled. 100,000 monthly salary. Jing Wan clenched her fist. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows and shrugged in disdain. 100,000 monthly salary was indeed a huge sum for university students who haven't even graduated yet. Even the seniors who had graduated from school would try their best to get a salary of 100,000 a month. However, Yi Zichen reached out and pointed at the Porsche 918 outside. Miss Jingwan, do you think I lack money? This Jingwan's heart turned cold when she saw the sports car. A person who could drive that kind of car really wouldn't compromise for 100,000 monthly salary. On the other hand, Xia Kiki, who was on the side, looked at the sports car outside the window. Riche bro, that's your car? Yeah. Riche bro, Jing Wan's expression darkened once again. If she knew that he was Riche bro, then she wouldn't have used the monthly salary to move him. With your skills, you can definitely shine and get chased by tens of thousands of fans. Jing Wan once again used the aspect of fame. She felt that Yi Zichen would hesitate due to that. However, clap clap clap. Yi Zichen suddenly clapped his hands and said, "Does anyone in this cold drinks store recognize me? Riche bro, I'm your fan. Riche bro, do you have time tonight? I want to treat you to dinner." Riche bro, at this moment, Yi Zichen also shrugged towards Jing Wan with a smile. "Do you think I lack fame?" Jing Wan's pretty face froze. It seemed like she could only bring out these two conditions to negotiate with. However, the other party killed them all. Xia Kiki noticed Jing Wan's terrible expression, so she wanted Yi Zichen to consider it a bit more. However, Yi Zichen raised his head and shook his head with a smile. "Actually, I can feel from these few words that Miss Jing Wan's team was merely formed on a whim. I was thinking about it very seriously." Jing Wan retorted. Yi Zichen shrugged noncommittally, then rapped the table with a smile. "Then let me put it this way. Setting up a team requires a lot of money. Do you have it? I've accumulated quite a bit of savings from my live streaming over the past few years." "How much?" "About 10 million. Yi Zichen snickered. "Little 10 million, don't you think it's very childish of you to want to form a team? Don't tell me you haven't investigated the teams in the tournament? Which one of them doesn't have a strong financial chain? Your little bit of money isn't even enough to poach a few good players. In the early stages of establishing a team, the capital chain is the largest. You need to pay the players' salaries, you need to choose a suitable base for the players, and you need members. Let's put it this way. Let's not talk about whether or not you've found substitute. Have you found any of your 5 members?" Jing Wan's voice faltered. She really hadn't thought about this, but she didn't want to admit defeat, so she retorted with all her might, "I'll try my best to gather the team members, and I'll also find people to invest in the funds." "That means that everything you've said is just an empty shell. What team are you talking about?" Yi Zichen quickly finished the lemon juice in his cup, then stood up and waved towards Jing Wan and Xia Kiki. "Sorry, I can't accept your invitation." Yi Zichen truly didn't want to participate in this sort of activity. If he really joined a team, then his life would be completely tied to the base. He could shine anywhere with the deity's WeChat group, so he didn't have to choose a path that was relatively more of a failure. What's more, what he said just now was for Jing Wan's own good. It was good to be hot-blooded, but establishing a team purely based on hot-bloodedness, it was very possible that he would lose everything. Yi Zichen didn't want the girl to waste all of her hard-earned money here. Perhaps thinking about money all the time would seem a bit vulgar. However, Yi Zichen was a vulgar person. Jing Wan and Xia Kiki, who were in the cold drink store, watched Yi Zichen's car disappear from their sight in shock. A hint of sadness surfaced on Jing Wan's delicate face, while Xia Kiki comforted her softly. "Jing Wan, don't mind Yi Zichen's words too much. He's actually a pretty nice person normally. I don't know what kind of medicine he suddenly ate today." Jing Wan smiled faintly, while the haze in her heart disappeared. Yi Zichen's merciless criticism still lingered in her ears, but she didn't mind. He's speaking the truth. Perhaps I was too impulsive. I need to go back and think about it properly. But if Jing Wan, you still need teammates, then you can find me at any time. Thank you. Jing Wan left the coffee shop after putting on her cap. Jing Wan clenched her fist tightly as she stood on the side of the road and looked at the place Yi Zichen just left. Sooner or later, I will make you agree. Yi Zichen drove back to the mansion. Yi Rong was standing in the courtyard in a daze. It was a good thing that her child was successful, but she didn't know why she felt uneasy. "Mom, why are you standing here?" Yi Rong raised her head. When she saw the sports car behind Yi Zichen, the worry on her face became even more obvious. "Son, what exactly are you doing? Mom doesn't feel confident." "Mom, don't you know what I'm like? I definitely won't touch those dirty things." Yi Zichen grabbed Yi Rong's shoulder and walked to the pavilion in the courtyard. "Are you used to living here? The environment here is pretty good, it's just that I'm not used to it." "What do you mean?" "I feel empty in my heart. Before, I could still chat with your auntie and the others in the village, but now." Yi Rong stopped speaking, while Yi Zichen also felt sad. As a son, he did let his mother live a good life, but he didn't have too much time to accompany her. For some reason, Yi Zichen thought about the dog he got from the howling celestial dog. "Mom, wait a moment, I have a present for you." Yi Zichen ran to the car and opened the WeChat treasure chest. Eliminated dog from the celestial poodle trials. Withdraw. A white, furry poodle appeared in Yi Zichen's arms. The moment the poodle appeared, it subconsciously looked around. When it saw Yi Zichen, it actually revealed a human-like expression of disdain. "Little fellow, you're going to follow me from now on." Disdain, it was still disdain. "This little thing of yours is rather interesting." Yi Zichen wanted to stroke the poodle's fur, but the poodle raised its head and bared its teeth at him, revealing a fierce expression. Dogs like poodles were extremely cute even when they pretended to be fierce. Chapter 37. So who's hotter? After interacting with Lil White for roughly 10 minutes, Yi Zichen finally understood why this guy was eliminated. Toot Sundara. This little fellow didn't give its master any face at all. Obviously, in its world, it was the supreme king. "It's fine if you're like this with me, but when you see my mom later, you must be obedient and cute." Disdain. "If you're obedient, I'll bring you delicious food next time. It's much better than the food in the heavenly court." Xiao Bai's eyes lit up and a suspicious look appeared on her face. "I swear." Yi Zichen raised 3 fingers. Lil White examined Yi Zichen meaningfully, then actually nodded like a human, and reached out his paw to high-five him. Before getting out of the car, Little White looked at him cautiously. It seemed to be saying, "Remember the delicious food." It seemed like Xiao Bai was a foodie. "Damn, that's my mother." Yi Zichen put Lil White on the ground and indicated towards Yi Rong. Little White wagged its tail to indicate that it understood, then proudly trotted toward Yi Rong. "Zichen, what's its name?" When Yi Zichen walked over, Lil White had already gotten along with Yi Rong. More importantly, Lil White actually winked at Yi Zichen. When he saw Yi Rong smile, Yi Zichen smiled back. "Little White. It's so smart." Yi Rong clapped her hands and Little White leaped into her arms. It rubbed its head against her neck and acted like a spoiled child. Yi Zichen looked at everything in front of him with a smile. At that moment, the phone in his pocket rang. When Yi Zichen picked up the call, the corner of his mouth curled up. "Mom, I still have something to do, so I'll leave first." "Where are you going? You're not going to eat dinner?" Although Yi Rong was very happy playing with Lil White, Yi Zichen was still the most important person in her heart. "I'm not eating anymore. I'm in a hurry." Without saying anything, Yi Zichen sped all the way to Golden Spring Hotel. Room 415. When Yi Zichen pushed open the door, he saw Little Yellow, a huge fan of Dragon Ball, staring blankly out the window. Hey! You're here! Yellow Hair suddenly stood up. Yi Zichen signaled him not to do so, then sat down on a chair in the room and raised his eyebrows. Is Fu Qingming in the opposite room? Yes, it seems like someone invited him to dinner. He's almost finished drinking inside. Is everyone here? Don't worry about that. My subordinates are already scattered around the hotel. As long as he's alone, sure. A naughty smile surfaced on Yi Zichen's face. Last time, this brat schemed against him behind his back. This time, he would also play dirty with him. Let's see who is more cunning. Brother Fu, there is an activity tonight. Old Six opened a big room at the nightclub and found 7 or 8 girls. You're not going? At the entrance of the Golden Spring Hotel, 5 young men, who were all drunk, stood together with their arms around each other's shoulders. The one in the middle was Fu Qingming. I'm not going. My kidneys have been deficient lately. Fu Qingming was so drunk that he couldn't even straighten his tongue. A few youths next to him wanted to ask him to stay, but Fu Qingming rejected them all. Yi Zichen and company stood on the side of the street in a daze as they tried to call a taxi home. Yi Zichen, who had been hiding nearby for a long time, smiled. Go. All of a sudden, several young men with dyed hair appeared behind Fu Qingming. Fu Qingming was covered with a gunny sack and smacked on the back of his head. Strip, strip, strip. Yi Zichen stood in the forest with his hands on his waist. Yellow Hair's subordinates surrounded Fu Qingming and continuously took off his clothes. Not long later, only a pair of red underwear remained on Fu Qingming's body. Yi Zichen felt his stomach turn when he saw this pair of red underwear. A man wearing red underwear, and triangles at that. Just how sick was this B****starred? Big bro, strip naked. What are you blanking out for if you strip naked for? Throw him onto the bench in the garden beside Polytechnic University. Let him enjoy the feeling of being the center of attention the next day. All right. Yellow Hair and company chucked Fu Qingming into the van and drove away. Yi Zichen scratched his head, then walked towards the parking lot of the Golden Spring Hotel. Let go of me. Just as Yi Zichen was about to drive away, a weak voice sounded out beside his ear. Let go of me, pervert. Yi Zichen shook his head. It's better to not mind other people's business. Save me. Yi Zichen, who was about to open the car door, finally retracted his hand. Alright, he really couldn't do something like not saving someone. The parking lot was very large, and there were a lot of cars. Judging from the girl's voice, she should have been raped in the car. Fiery eyes of truth, activate. Yi Zichen stood on the spot and looked at the surrounding cars. Not long later, he found the girl in a business car not far away. Bang bang bang. Yi Zichen knocked on the car window. The glass of the business car wasn't transparent, so outsiders couldn't see inside from the outside. That was why the other party would choose to commit the crime in this car. The moment Yi Zichen knocked on the window, the car fell into a deathly silence. However, the car started to shake intensely. The person inside, come out. Ugh. Save stubborn resistance. Yi Zichen nodded slightly. I'll give you 3 seconds to consider. Are you going to come out yourself, or do I have to smash your car? 3, 1. You're not coming out, right? Fine. Yi Zichen looked around and saw that there was no one else around. Then, he swung his arms and punched the car window. Bang. The car window immediately cracked. Then, he punched again. Crack. This time, all of the car windows shattered. Through the car window, Yi Zichen saw a girl with a terrifying birthmark on her face lying under a middle-aged man. The girl was wearing the clothes of a hotel attendant, so she should be a attendant of the Golden Spring Hotel. More importantly, Yi Zichen knew this girl. Li Jiai. Yi Zichen. Li Jiai's eyes revealed a hint of surprise when she saw Yi Zichen, but her reply was rather weak. Only then did Yi Zichen notice that her face was a sickly red. F***CKU. Yi Zichen kicked open the car door and directly dragged the fatty out of the car. F***ck off. The fatty didn't even dare to fart after shattering the tempered glass in 2 rounds. He didn't even take the car and ran outside. Yi Zichen also picked Li Jia up. At that moment, her entire skin was suffused with a faint pink color, making her seem like a ball of fire. F***ck, this fatty is too much of an animal, Yi Zichen cursed angrily. Li Jia was his classmate in high school. There was an extremely eye-catching birthmark on the right side of her face. To be honest, if one only looked at the side of her face, she was definitely a beauty. However, the birthmark affected her overall beauty. Yi Zichen, I'm so hot. Li Jia wrapped her arms around Yi Zichen's neck and stuck close to him. Chapter 38. You want to leave after eating? Within room 1305 of the Golden Spring Hotel. Yi Zichen felt a bit helpless as he looked at Li Jia, who laid on the bed like a clay figurine. This was the first time he had encountered this sort of situation. Yi Zichen. Stop calling me. Yi Zichen was a bit annoyed. This girl really didn't know just how alluring she was, right? Yi Zichen filled the bathtub with cold water, then carried Li Jia and threw her in. You need to calm down. After throwing her into the bathtub, Yi Zichen walked out of the bathroom and called Bai Yu. Yi, why did you call so late at night? OL2, what should I do if the girl was drugged? Bai Yu studied clinical medicine. Although Yi Zichen wasn't sure if Bai Yu knew a way to solve the problem, he could only try it. Simple, Bai Yu blabbered on, then came to a conclusion. She'll be fine after having sex. Hearing that, Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. He knew of this method as well. Is there any other? Bai Yu hesitated for a moment. Yes. Yi Zichen's heart started to beat rapidly when he hung up the call. Bai Yu did give him a solution, it was just that it was a bit F***ck, what's the point of thinking so much? There aren't any other good ideas right now. When Yi Zichen entered the bathroom, Li Jia was already soaked in the water like a pile of mud. When Yi Zichen carried her out of the bathtub, she stuck tightly to him like a magnet that found its way to the North and South Poles. Zichen, Li Jia, don't blame me. All of this is for your own good. With that, Yi Zichen threw her onto the bed and took off her pants. The next day, when the first ray of sunlight shone through the floor-to-ceiling windows, Li Jia rubbed her hair and sat up on the bed. She blushed when she saw Yi Zichen, who was sleeping soundly beside her. Yi Zichen. In order to deal with Li Jia, Yi Zichen had spent half the night. Yi Zichen opened his eyes in a daze when he felt someone push him, and saw Li Jia looking down at him with eyes filled with love. You woke up. Yi Zichen stuttered, but before long he noticed something. Li Jia's cheeks were as smooth as suet jade, and the birthmark on her left cheek had disappeared. Your face, ah! Li Jia exclaimed and raised her hand to touch the left side of her face. She frantically searched the bed, only to see Yi Zichen reach his hand over. Are you looking for this? Yi Zichen was truly shocked. He had seen the birthmark on Li Jia's face when he first saw her in high school. At that time, he felt sorry for the girl. If it wasn't for the birthmark, she might have been a dazzling girl. But only now did he realize that the birthmark was fake. This girl had actually lied to everyone in their school for 3 whole years. Give it back. Li Jia snatched the birthmark back and stuck it on her face. Yi Zichen sighed helplessly when he saw her actions. I saw everything. You don't have to pretend in front of me, right? You're not allowed to tell anyone. Who am I supposed to tell? I don't really contact those people in high school anymore. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. I just don't understand. Don't girls all love to be beautiful? How many people went through plastic surgery to make themselves beautiful? You, on the other hand, purposely made yourself ugly. What good does that do for you? None of your business. Li Jia bit her lips and wanted to get up from the bed. However, the heart-wrenching pain and the smear of red on the bed caused her to frown. But when she thought about the situation last night, it seemed like she was the one who took the initiative. Forget about what happened last night. Just pretend like nothing happened. I don't need you to take responsibility. All right. Yizichin nodded without even thinking. The situation last night was indeed rather hard to talk about. Girls were rather thin-skinned, so if she didn't point it out, then there was no need for him to say anything. Yizichin's lack of hesitation touched Li Jiai's heart. She had the highest impression of Yizichin in high school. Otherwise, she wouldn't have said something like that when she saw Yizichin after what happened yesterday. However, she didn't think that he was actually this sort of person, wanting to leave right after eating. She could only blame herself for choosing the wrong person. Li Jiai glared fiercely at Yizichin, then limped out. Yizichin jumped down and wanted to send her away, but she pushed him away. Put away your hypocrisy. Yizichin stood at the entrance of the room in confusion as she ran away from the hotel room in tears. What happened? I didn't do anything? Yizichin scratched his head when he thought about how Li Jiai's period seemed to have come last night. Were all women's periods so weird? After checking out, Yizichin drove back to the dorm. The moment he entered the room, he bumped into Bai Yu, who was about to leave with a basin. Yizi. Oil too. Yizichin patted his shoulders and prepared to walk towards the room. He didn't sleep well at the hotel, so he had to make up for it. Don't go, don't go. Bai Yu suddenly grabbed him and smiled ambiguously. You had a great time last night, right? Great my ass, Laozi is about to die from exhaustion. Yizichin pushed him and walked towards the dorm. F***ck, you really F***king did as I said? Bai Yu exclaimed as if he had discovered a new continent. Do you think I'm the sort of person who takes advantage of others? If it wasn't because I've been single for 20-something years and trained my Qilin arm to perfection, I would have definitely melted my muscles yesterday. But I'm telling you, that fatty is truly a grandson. I don't know what kind of drug he gave Li Jiai. Yizichin rubbed his sore right arm. Bai Yu grabbed his shoulder and said, Who did you say just now? Who did you just say, Li Jiai? Yeah, our high school classmate, Li Jiai. No wonder, Bai Yu acted like he understood. Don't pretend to be pure in front of bro. If it was Li Jiai, I wouldn't dare to touch her either. Alright, bro's going to wash up. You rest well. Bai Yu waved the towel on his shoulder and walked out. Yizichin, who stood at the entrance of the dorm, smiled helplessly. It seemed like his high school classmates' impression of Li Jiai was still the birthmark. However, if they found out that Li Jiai's birthmark was fake one day, I wonder how they would react. When he thought back to the scene at the hotel, Li Jiai, who took off her birthmark, was even prettier than Su Yan. He just couldn't understand why such a beautiful girl had to pretend to be ugly. Yizichin returned to the dorm and prepared to sleep, but the moment he lay down. Ding-dong, ding-dong, ding-dong. Chapter 39. Dragon Slayer has joined the group. Tai Bai Jinxing invited pagoda-bearing Heavenly King Li and Naja into the group. Pigsy, Old Li is here too. God of Thunder, another new member has joined. Barefoot Immortal, the third prince has joined the group. It looks like this group will be very lively in the future. Neza, hello everyone, did you miss me? Pagoda-bearing Heavenly King Li, no wonder I haven't seen you guys recently. God of Thunder, please send a red packet when you join the group. Naja, red envelope? God of Thunder, quick, educate the newbie about Tai Bai Jinxing. The group was in an uproar. Yizichin was also shocked. There was actually someone who wasn't in the group. He sneaked a peek at the names of the group members. He heard that Neza hated those Dragon Kings so much that they might start fighting soon. Yizichin looked around and saw that the Dragon King wasn't in the group. Neza? Haha, this is so interesting. So that's what giving red packets is like. I just killed a dragon the day before yesterday, so I'm giving it to you guys for fun. Pooh. Slaying a dragon. Fortunately, the Dragon King was not here. Otherwise, there would have been a fight. But the dragon's body should be full of good stuff. Yizichin focused on the screen. Ding-dong. Poke. He was too slow. and the red packets were all snatched up. Zhu Beiji, third prince, aren't you being too generous? Sending a dragon directly? God of Thunder, what's going on? Just one bag? Neza, Aya, it's my first time playing. I don't understand. Canopy Marshal, quickly distribute the dragons to everyone. Pigsy, no. Chong-yi, are you posting or not? There were 3 angry emojis behind it. Yi Zichen smiled the moment Chong-yi appeared. Zhu Beiji could be shameless in front of others, but if Chong-yi said so, he definitely wouldn't dare to take it for himself. Zhu Beiji, wait a moment, I'll send it right away. A full 5 minutes passed. Just as the immortals were about to let their guard down, Zhu Beiji's red packet appeared. Yi Zichen had been paying close attention the entire time. As soon as the red packet appeared, he immediately clicked it. You have received Canopy Marshal's red packet. Dragon Eye X1. What the hell was a Dragon Eye? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows, then saw the people in the group denounce him. God of Thunder, Ba Jie, why did you change to Canopy Marshal? Neza, yeah, Monkey Bro will beat you up if he finds out. Canopy Marshal, why can a monkey be called Monkey King? I can't change it back. Moreover, Barefoot Immortal, that's not right. Why doesn't this dragon have a whip? Canopy Marshal, hee. The last 3 colors. Neza, how shameless. Canopy Marshal, Chong-yi little sister, see you in the Moon Palace. God of Thunder, there's a story. Neja, +1 everyone in the group exploded. Zhu Beiji's words were too ambiguous, especially when he tagged Chong-yi. Before Zhu Beiji was banished to the mortal world, he already had something going on with Chong-yi, but now he even deliberately snatched the dragon's penis. Chong-yi, Zhu Beiji, don't ruin my reputation. Pigsy. Another row of you know what I mean emojis. Yi Zichen wasn't that interested in gossip. He exited the WeChat group and opened the dragon eye in his treasure chest. Needless to say, this dragon's eye was really big. It looked crystal clear, just like a cat's eye. Dragon's eye, special item, usage unknown. F*CKU. Yi Zichen cursed. I thought I got a good treasure, but it turns out it's just trash that can't be used. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes, then lost interest in the dragon's eye. A wave of sleepiness washed over him, causing him to throw down his phone and fall asleep. Yi Zichen slept rather well. In his dreams, he even dreamt of going on a date with Chong-yi. Just as he was about to pull Fairy Chong-yi's little hand, someone pushed him awake. 5th bro. OL 5, stop sleeping. Everyone had a bad temper when they woke up, and Yi Zichen was no exception. He was so angry that he wanted to curse after someone messed up his beautiful dream. What? If the teacher called, then help me call it. I don't want to eat lunch, so why did you guys call me? Go downstairs and take a look. Someone is cursing you with a loudspeaker downstairs. Cursing me? Yi Zichen was confused. Zhu Yunbai directly opened the window. The moment he did so, he heard someone shout with a loudspeaker downstairs. Yi Zichen, you turtle bastard, son of a bitch, F*King come down. They really are cursing me. Yi Zichen rubbed his head, then lit a cigarette for himself. Let's go downstairs and take a look. A group of students gathered outside the Polytechnic University's male dormitory. Yi Zichen's name was way too popular in Polytechnic University. Someone cursing him was definitely huge news. The moment the news spread, it quickly spread, causing a group of people to surround him. Yi Zichen, stop F*King pretending to be dead. Lousy knows you can hear it. Hurry up and come down. The cursing continued to sound out from downstairs. Yi Zichen glanced at his Porsche 918. The car had already been sprayed with the words, human-faced beast's heart. Yi Zichen looked at the bucket of paint in the hands of the man with the loudspeaker. It was clear that it was done by him as well. Yi Zichen scratched his head and walked towards the man. The man looked to be in his 20s. He was rather thin and wore glasses, making him look like a gentleman. Yi Zichen rather admired his perseverance. He had shouted for 10 odd minutes, causing his neck to turn red, yet he still persisted. However, from the looks of it, he didn't seem to know Yi Zichen. Bro, stop shouting. The school's security is coming soon. Yi Zichen patted the young man's shoulder, but the young man slapped his hand away. Don't worry about me, I have to scold that grandson, Yi Zichen. All right, I'm that grandson you're talking about. Stop scolding and stop for a moment. Look at how tired you are. Do you need me to buy you a bottle of water? Yi Zichen laughed in anger. He didn't even know him, yet he was able to scold him for 10 odd minutes. Who was it that gave him such an indomitable will? You're Yi Zichen? The young man glared. However, a glare of his did not seem threatening at all. Yi Zichen nodded, then picked up the loudspeaker in his hand. The real deal. I seem to be the only one called Yi Zichen in Polytechnic University. Sure, I was looking for you. I know you were looking for me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be shouting with a loudspeaker here, right? Yi Zichen smiled helplessly. But you have to tell me what exactly you were looking for me for. You said that you don't know me, and I don't seem to have seen you before. We don't have any grudges, why are you scolding me like that? Also, Yi Zichen pointed at his beloved car. Do you know what car my car is? It's a Porsche 918. I've only driven it for less than a day. Do you know how much it will cost to repaint it? Stop pretending with me. So what if you're rich? You can play around with a girl's feelings just because you're rich? The young man smiled coldly, then pointed at Yi Zichen's nose and cursed. Hearing that, Yi Zichen shook his head helplessly. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Tell me, who did I play around with? At that moment, a taxi stopped in front of the dormitory. Li Jie got off the car and pulled the young man's hand towards the car. Chapter 40. Old Man Xiao invites Yi Zichen understood everything the moment he saw Li Jie. No wonder this young man was able to spray paint on his car even though he didn't know him. From the looks of it, he should be someone from the Golden Spring Hotel. Yi Zichen remembered his license plate after checking the surveillance footage. The only thing he didn't understand was, how did he toy with Li Jie? Jie, stop pulling me. I have to make this beast in human form pay the price. Li Chuang forcefully pushed Li Jie to the ground. Yi Zichen quickly ran over to help her up, then frowned towards Li Chuang. Come at me if you have any problems, what are you playing with a girl for? Let go of me. Li Jie frowned. Yi Zichen let go of her bitterly. At this moment, Li Chuang also ran over to Li Jie's side and asked about her well-being. However, Li Jie merely shook her head towards him and signaled him to get on the car. Jie, he treated you like that, why are you still so biased towards him? Wait, Yi Zichen raised his hand to stop Li Chuang's words. I don't really understand. What did I do to Li Jie? You cursed me with a megaphone from the start, and now you're saying that I did something to Li Jie. What did I do to her? You know clearly what you did. Li Chuang clenched his teeth and cursed. Scumbag! Yi Zichen was truly a bit confused. He didn't know what was going on at all. If he really did do something, he definitely wouldn't avoid it. But he didn't do anything, why did he have to take the blame? Li Jie, what do you think I did to you? Slap. A huge slap landed on Yi Zichen's face. Yi Zichen's roommates all surrounded him, while the surrounding students also exclaimed softly. Yi Zichen raised his hand to stop them, then licked his lips and smiled towards Li Jie. Li Jie, you have to have a reason for hitting me, right? I saved you yesterday, what's the meaning of this now? Yi Zichen, I misjudged you. I didn't ask you to take responsibility for me, you don't have to hide like this, right? What am I hiding from? I misjudged you. Yi Zichen, I hate you. Yi Zichen dragged Li Chuang into the taxi, then stood on the spot like a statue as he watched the taxi disappear in front of his eyes. What the hell is wrong with me? Yi Zi, what's going on? Kong Peng came over curiously. I don't even know what's going on. You're asking me now. What should I say? The scene just now truly confused Yi Zichen. When he woke up in the morning, Li Jiai had said some weird things to him. He thought the woman was on her period and was in a bad mood. But damn it, he came to school in the middle of the day and said a bunch of ridiculous things. What the hell? Wait, Yi, what does your family do? Is that Porsche 918 yours? Leave me alone. Yi Zichen cursed angrily, then glanced at the Porsche that had been sprayed beyond recognition. He took out his phone and called Xiao Hai, telling him to come and pick up the car before returning to the dorm sulkily. Where did you go just now? I was just about to look for you. There was big news in the school. The president of the student union, Fu Qingming, appeared in the park next to the school wearing red underwear early in the morning. This post is going viral. The moment Yi Zichen returned to the dorm, Zhang Rui started to gossip with his phone. Hearing that, Yi Zichen twitched his mouth. If it had been exposed earlier, then he might have been proud of his design. But now, stop looking, the school headlines are going to change soon. Kong Peng took a glance, then chucked the phone back. Zhang Rui looked at him in confusion, while Zhu Yunbai shrugged. Fifth bro will be at the top of the rankings again later. What now? What now? Zhang Rui could be said to be the most passionate person in the dorm when it came to gossip. He ran beside Yi Zichen barefoot. Yi Zichen kicked him to the side and cursed. F***ck off. Hi Ji, so sorry. You just gave me a car and it became like this. Yi Zichen lowered his head dejectedly. Xiao Hai patted Yi Zichen's shoulders nonchalantly and smiled. You've offended quite a lot of people. You've provoked quite a lot of people. Look at what you're spewing. You're a beast in human form. What kind of thing have you done that angers both men and gods? What do you mean again? Yi Zichen twitched his mouth speechlessly. Xiao Hai also chuckled, then signaled his subordinates to drive the car away. Do you need Hai Ji to help you deal with it? Don't, it's not a big deal. If Xiao Hai said that he would deal with it, then it definitely meant that he was going to kill that person. Li Chuang scolded the car for Li Jie. As for Yi Zichen and Li Jie, he felt like there was some misunderstanding. However, he couldn't think of what it was. All right, I'll listen to you. If you say no, then no. Xiao Hai put his arm around Yi Zichen's shoulders. Actually, Hai Ji came this time for something. I knew it, it's a bit unreasonable for Big Boss Hai to come personally to tow the car. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes as if he had already guessed it. Hearing that, Xiao Hai laughed. I knew I couldn't hide it from you. Hai Ji came this time to invite you to my house as a guest. Not going, Yi Zichen shook his head. You're not giving Hai Ji face? Xiao Hai pretended to be angry. What's more, it's not just Hai Ji who wants to invite you, it's our family's old man who wants to thank you in person. The old man's been cured? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. He didn't think that the great recovery pill would be so *king useful. He had to stock up more great recovery pills in the future. It might be able to save his life when he got sick one day. I can't say that he's completely cured, but he's more or less cured. Xiao Hai's eyebrows were filled with joy. The old man's recovery was a joyous matter for the Xiao family. More importantly, the burden on his shoulders was slightly lighter. Although Yi Zichen called him Hai Ji, he wasn't much older than Yi Zichen. He was only 24. To manage such a large corporation at the age of 24, and he was given an order at a critical moment. The pressure was naturally huge. Lil Yi, just go. The old man gave a death order to see you no matter what. If you don't go, Hai Ji will be troubled as well. Xiao Hai acted like he was begging. Yi Zichen thought about it, then raised his eyebrows. I have class in the afternoon. Isn't it fine if you skip class? Hai Ji skipped plenty of classes in school. This isn't a reason for you to refuse. I have something to do tonight. What is it? What does it have to do with me? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. He was just making things up. He couldn't think of a proper reason all of a sudden. If you don't say it, then it's fine. Don't try to act dumb with Hai Ji. You have to go, even if you don't want to. With that, Xiao Hai grabbed Yi Zichen and threw him into the car. Yi Zichen slammed the car window and shouted towards the outside. Help, kidnapping! Xiao Hai smiled and shouted towards the driver. Chapter 41. To sound out, Xiao Hai stood in front of the car door. The car had already arrived at the Xiao family for a while, but Yi Zichen just sat in the car without coming out. Xiao Yi, get off the car! Do you know this is kidnapping? Yi Zichen put on a tsundere look. He already said that he wouldn't come, but Xiao Hai directly threw him over and caught him. Was this how one should treat a benefactor? He had saved the old man's life. Not only did he not treat him with respect, but he actually used violence against him. Even a clay figurine had a bit of anger. Hee hee, I heard that little Yi is here. A hearty laughter came from outside the door. Xiao Hai turned his head and was shocked. Grandpa, why did you come out? The old master was here. Yi Zichen, who was lying in the car like a lord, also sat up. It was fine for him to put on airs with Xiao Hai, since they were of the same age. But old Master Xiao did not dare to do so. Old Man Xiao. Yi Zichen stood humbly in front of Old Man Xiao. Old Man Xiao chuckled. So this is little Yi. Not bad, a talented man. You flatter me, old master. Yi Zichen immediately returned the greeting. Haha, don't be so polite. You saved this old fellow's life. Speaking of which, you are this old fellow's great benefactor. Old Man Xiao laughed heartily. Since you're here, come in and have a seat. This was Yi Zichen's second visit to the Xiao family estate. But even so, he was secretly shocked by the Xiao family's extravagance. It was an independent manor that was almost as big as the villa area where he had bought the villa. He entered the living room of the villa and saw a pot of Longjing tea and 3 teacups on the coffee table. Sit. Old Man Xiao pointed at the seat on the sofa and indicated Yi Zichen to sit down. Little Yi, to be honest, this old man is really grateful to you. I thought I would have to spend the rest of my life in a sickbed. I didn't expect. Old Man Xiao sighed. Yi Zichen could only smile awkwardly. He really did not know how to deal with this kind of old man who had lived for a long time. Xiao Hai, who was extremely domineering outside, sat beside Yi Zichen like an obedient baby, and didn't dare to say anything. For a moment the atmosphere in the living room became awkward. Little Yi. Yes. Yi Zichen immediately straightened his back. I heard from Little Hai that you used a pill called the Great Cyclic Pill to save this old man. When Old Man Xiao mentioned this, his eyes flashed. Yes, Yi Zichen nodded. I wonder who Little Ye's ancestor is. Old Man Xiao shook his head and said with a smile, Sorry, I asked too much. This is Little Ye's secret, I have no right to pry into it. Hee hee. Yi Zichen chuckled idiotically. For some reason, he felt like this old guy wasn't as harmless as he seemed. How could a person who could establish such a big company be an ordinary person? Lil Yi, do you still have that pill? Old Man Xiao spoke up once again. Hearing that, Yi Zichen tensed up. Don't think too much. I'm just asking for medicine for an old friend of mine. He's about the same age as me. He's old and has many illnesses. Old master, forgive me for being powerless. Yi Zichen smiled helplessly. He did have more great cyclic pills on hand, but he wasn't an idiot. This old fellow obviously smelled something unusual. If he were to be silly and say everything, who knew what would happen? Chief Lu had asked him before for no reason if he was someone from that place. He didn't know where that place was. Since it was unknown, then it was dangerous. It was best if he didn't touch it randomly. That's truly a shame. Old Man Xiao shook his head and rubbed his temples. Lil Hai, keep Lil Yi company here. I'm going back to my room to rest for a while. I'm old, my body just isn't good. I can't even sit for a while. Grandpa, take care. Old Man Xiao returned to his room with the help of a servant. Only then did Xiao Hai smile apologetically. Lil Yi, don't think too much. Little Yi, don't think too much. My grandfather is just like that. After staying in the business for a long time, he likes to think about people. However, you have to believe that he has a good heart. He definitely won't force you or investigate you in secret. As Xiao Hai explained for Old Man Xiao, Yi Zichen also nodded with a smile. Understood. Alright, then sit here for a while. I'll go and tell the kitchen to arrange the banquet. Sure. After Xiao Hai left, Yi Zichen was the only one left in the living room. Only then did he let out a long sigh. Old Man Xiao liked to think about people, but wasn't Xiao Hai the same? Since they were both businessmen, then they would have the problem of businessmen and like to think about other people's thoughts. Yi Zichen felt that it was better to interact less with businessmen in the future. Otherwise, his chat group with deities might be exposed one day. Lil Hai, what do you think of Lil Yi? If Yi Zichen found out that Xiao Hai didn't go to arrange the banquet, and instead went to Old Man Zhao's room, he would definitely get goosebumps and directly turn around to leave. Grandpa, Lil Yi is my good little brother. Can you not treat him like you would treat a business enemy? Xiao Hai was a bit angry. However, Old Man Xiao slammed the table. Idiot. Xiao Hai instantly lowered his head. We businessmen rely on thinking about other people's thoughts in order to go further. This Yi Zichen has a mysterious identity. If you don't understand his background, how are you going to become good friends with him? What's more, I think that Lil Yi isn't sincere towards you. Grandpa, you can't treat Lil Yi with your old way of thinking. He's different from other people. Xiao Hai still wanted to argue, but when he thought about Old Man Zhao's stubbornness, he gave up. Never mind, there's no need for this banquet. I don't want to pry into what Lil Yi is thinking, nor do I want to know if he can be sincere towards me. What's more, don't you feel like Lil Yi is very similar to an old friend of yours? Who? Grandpa Gu. The moment Xiao Hai said that, Old Man Xiao suddenly fell into deep thought. Grandpa, think about it. Grandpa Gu left in the end because you like to think about other people's thoughts, isn't that right? Preposterous. Old Man Xiao, who was sitting on the chair, suddenly coughed up a mouthful of blood and fell onto the ground. Only after Yi Zichen stayed in the living room for a long time did he notice that the living room was actually a bit creepy. He didn't dare to take out his phone to look at the group chat. God knows if there were any surveillance cameras in the mansion that were monitoring him. Dong, dong, dong. A series of hurried footsteps sounded out from the stairs of the second floor of the mansion. Yi Zichen looked up and saw Xiao Hai running towards him anxiously. However, Yi Zichen was a bit confused. Xiao Hai had left from the door, and he didn't enter afterwards. Why did he come down from the second floor? Hai Ji, shouldn't you explain it to me? Yi Zichen's expression turned cold. Xiao Hai grabbed his arm. Chapter 42. How can a ghost be so cute? He followed Xiao Hai to the second floor. The pale-faced old man Xiao lay on the bed, breathing less than he breathed. It seemed that he was about to die. What happened? You'll make me angry. Regret flashed across Xiao Hai's eyes. Yi Zichen snickered. You really came to Old Man Zhao's room just now. Xiao Hai wanted to explain, but Yi Zichen waved his hand to signal him not to say anything. The blood on the ground had yet to dry, and it was dark black. This was not blood that a normal person would spit out. More importantly, the yin qi in this room was very dense. Yi Zichen already felt a sinister feeling when he was in the living room. When he stepped into Old Man Zhao's room, he noticed that the yin energy was coming from here. Yezi, look at my grandpa. When Xiao Hai saw Yi Zichen wander around the room without treating Old Man Xiao, he was extremely worried. Yi Zichen put his hand in front of his mouth to signal him to be quiet, while his faint golden eyes scanned the room. Burn this painting. Yi Zichen pointed at the mural beside Old Man Zhao's bed. This is my grandfather's beloved item. I can't make the decision. Then I won't save him. Yi Zichen shrugged and walked out. Xiao Hai clenched his teeth and said, So hot. I want to burn it now. Xiao Hai clenched his teeth, then took down the painting and burned it in front of Yi Zichen. Only then did Yi Zichen smile in satisfaction, then clenched his right fist. Alright, I'm leaving. Arrange a car for me. Let's go. My grandpa, I'll be done in a moment. Yi Zichen smiled mysteriously. Xiao Hai instantly reacted. Actually, old man Xiao vomited blood not because he was angry, but because of this painting. But he couldn't understand why. When Yi Zichen got on the car, Xiao Hai wanted to get the driver to send him back, but Yi Zichen refused. Just as Yi Zichen was about to leave the Xiao family, he rolled down the window and raised his eyebrows at Xiao Hai. Remember, you owe me an explanation. Also, your grandfather will wake up after I leave. You should hurry over and accompany him. Tell him that I don't like people scheming against me. The car slowly started, and Xiao Hai stood in the same spot for a long time. Yi Zichen actually knew everything. Just as Yi Zichen said, old man Xiao opened his eyes after he left the manor. Xiao Hai sat beside the bed and helped old man Xiao to sit up. Grandpa, are you alright? Little Yi saved me again? A hint of helplessness flashed in old man Xiao's eyes. Xiao Hai nodded and said, Yes, Xiao Yi told me to burn the painting on your bedside. He also told me to tell you that he doesn't like people scheming against him. Mural? Old man Xiao hurriedly raised his head to take a look. Very quickly, he powerlessly lowered his head again and patted Xiao Hai's shoulders. You're right. He's really like old Gu. In the future, I won't interfere with the matters between you two. You can go. I'm tired and want to rest. Only after Xiao Hai left the room did old man Xiao sit up again, sighing as he looked at the empty space above the head of the bed. Old Gu, the painting you wanted to burn back then has been burned. After leaving the Xiao family estate, Yi Zichen had been acting very strangely. When he was driving, he had been driving with one hand, while his other hand was clenched into a fist. Let go of me. A feminine shout suddenly sounded out in the empty car. Wait a moment. Yi Zichen smiled playfully, then locked all the windows and doors before letting go. Why can you see me? A girl in a light blue floral dress floated on the roof of Yi Zichen's car. Don't worry about why I can see you. I'm just curious, why did you have a problem with that old man? He angered Grandpa Gu away. Grandpa Gu? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. That Grandpa Gu is a person? A living person, the ghost girl nodded. He can see you as well? Yeah, Grandpa Gu treats me very well. The girl actually smiled when she mentioned Uncle Gu. When the girl mentioned Uncle Gu, she even revealed a smile. Oh yeah, why did you burn that painting? Don't you know that the painting is absorbing your yin energy? That's a very vicious item, why did you keep it instead of burning it? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. Why don't you go and reincarnate after you die? What are you wandering around here for? I can't. A dejected look appeared on the girl's face as she said, I faked my death. My lifespan was not up yet, so the underworld did not accept me. I can only wander around like this and wait until my lifespan is up before I can reincarnate. Faking death meant that one's lifespan was not up. All of this was far too shocking. If it wasn't for the fact that Yi Zichen had already sworn brotherhood with a deity, he really would have been scared half to death. However, this female ghost was quite pitiful. She died mysteriously before her lifespan ended. He couldn't even reincarnate after he died, so he could only wander around in the human world. Then what are you going to do now? Yi Zichen felt a sense of compassion. If there was anything he could help the ghost girl with, then he was prepared to help. I don't know either. The female ghost lowered her head helplessly and fiddled with the hem of her embroidered skirt with her fingers. When Uncle Gu was still alive, the Xiao family was my safe haven. But since Uncle Gu passed away, I no longer have a home. Then how about you come with me? Yi Zichen rubbed his chin. The ghost girl twitched her mouth with a frown. Why should I hate you? I can tell that you aren't a good person at first glance. Are you lusting after my beauty and want to do something to me? I'm telling you, I'm a ghost. You're very strong. You're delusional. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes at her in annoyance. She's a ghost and I'm a human. Lusting after her beauty? But regardless of what he said, this ghost girl did look alright. You're the one who does. The ghost girl leaped towards Yizichin. In Yizichin's imagination, ghost girls should have a green face and fangs. However, this ghost girl was actually a bit cute when she was angry. Yizichin raised his hand and grabbed her wrist, then threw her onto the roof of the car. I have the great sage's ultimate technique here. You can't beat me. You're a bully. The ghost girl floated in the car and started to cry. Yizichin blushed for some reason. Is this AF * King Ghost? How can a ghost cry? And so cute? Alright, I was wrong. Don't cry anymore. Yizichin raised his hand and pulled the ghost girl onto the front passenger seat. See if there's anything on me that you can attach to. At least you won't get bullied if you follow me. What's more, I know people. Perhaps one day I'll drink with the Yama King and let you reincarnate. You're lying. Who's lying to you? Yizichin took out his phone and opened the chat group. You know how to read, right? See who the people in the group are. Neza, Canopy Marshal, God of Thunder, ugh. The female ghost suddenly laughed out loud. What are you laughing at? This was the first time Yizichin revealed his secret to other people, but the ghost girl actually laughed. Chapter 43. Subdue the female ghost. Yizichin was truly stunned when he saw the ghost girl's smile. Why did the female ghost have to be so cute? It was so unfair. Whoosh. When the ghost girl noticed Yizichin's expression, she floated onto the roof of the car and crossed her arms in front of her chest with a frown. What are you doing? Don't try to do anything to me. Come down. Yizichin raised his hand, grabbed the ghost girl's leg and pulled her down. The car was only so big, so where could she hide? What are you doing? Let me tell you, I'm a virgin ghost. If you touch me, you'll be in big trouble. The ghost girl's face was filled with caution, as if Yizichin really wanted to do something to her. I say, female ghost, we are separated by life and death. Don't be so narcissistic, okay? I also have a lot of girls waiting for me to pick up. Afraid that the ghost wouldn't believe him, Yizichin took out his phone and looked at Su Yan's moments. Did he blacklist me? He opened up Su Yan's WeChat moments and saw that there were no messages, so he decided to give it a try. Hello. Qing Iran has activated friend verification. You are not her friend yet. Please send a friend request first. Ha ha ha, someone deleted it. The ghost girl laughed happily. Yizichin gestured for her to calm down, then scrolled to Xia Kik's moments. Hey, I didn't delete it this time. Look. Yizichin scrolled down his phone, but the ghost girl was completely stunned. Coco. You know him? Yizichin opened his eyes wide, and saw the ghost girl reveal a sad smile. Is she doing well? From the looks of it, the female ghost really did know Xia Kiki. Very good, she's now the campus belle of the Polytechnic University. That's great. The female ghost smiled and said, We used to say that we would go to the Polytechnic University together. I didn't expect her to really go to this university. Alright, Xiaku and I are good friends. Yizichin subconsciously gulped and touched his arm. Seriously, he had goosebumps all over his body. This female ghost actually knew Xia Kiki, and the two of them even agreed to go to university together. Especially since they had agreed to meet at Polytechnic University. From this, it could be deduced that the two of them met in high school. Because middle school and elementary school kids only had a few universities in their minds. May I ask, when did you die? 2 years ago, right before the college entrance examination. The female ghost's face was full of smiles, but that smile was mixed with indescribable bitterness. Who? Yizichin placed his hand on his chest and took a few deep breaths. He had a feeling. He had come across something extraordinary. Something happened on the eve of the college entrance examination. His lifespan had not ended. He killed. Goosebumps appeared all over Yizichin's body. He intentionally cast aside his thoughts and calmed himself down. Let's get back to the main topic. See if there's a place you can stay on my body. You can follow me from now on. Aren't you good friends with Xiaokiki? If you follow me, you might even be able to meet her. Is it necessary? The female ghost shook her head with a smile. Even if we meet, can we talk like this? Yi Zichen knew very well that he wouldn't. He could see the female ghost because of the great sage's fiery eyes of truth. Xiaokiki was just a normal person, so how could she see it? Humans and ghosts were different. They were not the same people. However, he saw the anticipation in the female ghost's eyes. Yes. Yi Zichen smiled. The female ghost was shocked. Yi Zichen continued, believe me, a lot of strange things have happened around me. For example, I can see you right now. Stay by my side, I can revive you. You're lying. It's impossible for you to do something that even Grandpa Gu can't. I don't know who the Grandpa Gu you're talking about is. I'm not him, don't use him to measure me. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. He didn't know who that Grandpa Gu was, but since he could see the female ghost, then he was definitely a master. But so what if he was a master? He had a group. They were all deities. In order to let the female ghost regain hope, Yi Zichen threw out another bomb. I guarantee that I can revive you and let you meet your parents and friends again. Revive. The female ghost's body trembled intensely. She bit her lips and clenched her fists tightly. There's something on you that I can attach myself to. Point it out. I can't find it, but I can feel it. Yi Zichen immediately reacted. He opened the treasure chest in his phone and took out the dragon eye of unknown use. That should be it. Yes. As soon as the female ghost finished speaking, she entered the dragon eye. After she entered the dragon eye, the dim dragon quickly shrunk to the size of a glass bead. Moreover, there was a white radiance flickering above it. This place is very suitable for me to live. It can nourish my soul. There was some joy in the female ghost's voice. Soon, she changed to a dignified tone and said, Can you really avenge me? Even Grandpa Gu. I said I am me. Trust me. Yi Zichen gently caressed the shining dragon eye. The dragon eye flashed intensely, as if a female ghost was laughing. Okay, I believe you. Tell me your name. Yi Zichen. Hello, my name is Lu Jing. When Yi Zichen returned to school, the dormitory was just about to close. Yi Zichen rushed in just as the door was about to close, and saw a bunch of animals in the dormitory doing stripteases. Hey, why did you bring me to this sort of place? The moment Yi Zichen entered the room, Lu Jing, who was in his pocket, started to exclaim. Yi Zichen patted the dragon eye and said softly, Isn't the male dormitory supposed to be like this? If you don't want to look, then just stay in the dragon eye properly. I'm just curious. I've never been to university before, can't I satisfy my curiosity a bit? Then don't make a fuss over there. Zichen, what are you talking to yourself for? Kong Ping ran over in his shorts. Lu Jing screamed out once again, causing Yi Zichen's eardrums to hurt. Yi Zi, are you feeling unwell? I'm fine, let me rest properly for a bit. Yi Zichen did not take a shower, and merely lay down on the dormitory bed after taking off his clothes. Hey, hurry up and take a shower, Lu Jing said in disdain. I don't like it. Yi Zichen flipped over and laid on the blanket. Lu Jing put her hands on her waist and snorted. All right, you're not going to shower, right? When Yi Zichen walked into the school's public bathroom with a towel, his entire face turned green. He regretted bringing this ghost girl back out of kindness. He clearly King brought a grandma back. Hurry up and shower, I'll wait for you here. Lu Jing sat on the windowsill outside the bathroom and looked at the moonlight outside. Yi Zichen glanced at her, then walked in with the shower gel. Yi Zichen opened the shower gel and closed his eyes, allowing the water to wet his hair. At the same time, there was only one name that continuously repeated in his mind. Lu Jing. I wonder what kind of story will happen for her in the future. However, Chapter 44. Make connections. Yi Zichen sat on a chair in the mansion in a daze as he held his phone. It was as if Monkey Bro had evaporated from the heavenly court. He no longer argued with Erlang Shen in the group, nor did he argue with Yi Zichen on WeChat. He looked at the last chat record. It was a few days ago. Great Sage, where have you been? I haven't seen you around recently. After a long time, there was still no reply. Yi Rong took the washed grapes and placed them on the stone table in the courtyard. Little White followed behind her with its tail raised. That Sundra look made people unable to restrain their laughter. Zichen, eat some grapes. Hearing that, Yi Zichen put away his phone, then picked up a grape and chucked it into his mouth. Little White squatted by his feet and glanced at the plate. It seemed to be saying, "Give me one too." Picking up a few grapes from the plate, Little White threw them down and leaped. So south. The 3 grapes went straight into his mouth without even touching the ground. Wow, that's pretty impressive. He grabbed another handful and threw it down. Not a single one fell. Wagging its tail in disdain, Little White raised its proud head and left. This little thing, Yi Zichen laughed. Yi Rong also looked at Lil White with a smile. Little White is very smart. I feel like it can understand what we're saying. Of course, don't you know who picked it? Actually, Yi Zichen wanted to say, of course, how could the dogs of the heavenly court be bad? Zichen. After eating some grapes, Yi Rong hesitated for a while before speaking. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows and sat up straight. What happened? Although I have Xiao Bai to accompany me, I still feel a little bored staying in the villa every day. Yi Zichen could understand, since there wasn't a single person in the mansion district. Yi Rong wanted to find someone to talk to, but she couldn't find anyone to talk to. Moreover, when she was in the village, she also did some small business. Now that she suddenly had nothing to do, she was indeed flustered. Actually, there was a lot of work, but it depended on what they were doing. He couldn't let his mother continue to sell fruit. He didn't want to see his mother get tired. What do you want to do? Besides, if you want to do business, you must have capital. Your son's pockets are completely empty now. Yi Zichen wanted to hear Yi Rong's thoughts. He wasn't lying about being poor, he still owed money outside. Although he didn't have to return it, he still owed it in his heart. Yi Rong took out a card from her pocket and placed it on the table. This card, this is the compensation for our son's demolition. I don't know why they gave us 2 million. Since you've given it, just keep it. Needless to say, the extra money must have been given to him by Huang Ming's grandson. Now, when that grandson saw him, he was like a mouse seeing a cat. There was no need to mention how scared he was. Last time in the village, Yi Zichen might have nearly pissed his pants, but honestly speaking, Yi Zichen didn't know why this grandson was so afraid of him. Then what do you think we should do with this money? Yi Rong asked. This question truly troubled Yi Zichen. He had never started a business before, so the money he had was like a windfall. You can keep the money for now. I'll ask my friend what's suitable for you. That's fine. Yi Rong smiled and put the card away. Oh yeah, son, don't all university students have girlfriends? Why have I never seen you bring one back? Yi Zichen immediately ran away. Hey, I didn't think that your family was so rich. You live in such a high-class mansion. Lu Jing smiled playfully as she sat in the car. Yi Zichen smiled arrogantly, then reached out his hand to rub Lu Jing's head. I told you, if you follow me, you'll definitely have a good life. Tisk. Lu Jing spat softly. However, there was a strange feeling growing in her heart. For example, the rubbing of her head just now. She really hadn't let anyone rub her hair for a long time. Yi Zichen was the first person that could touch her after she became a female ghost. Even Grandpa Gu couldn't. All of a sudden, her confidence in Yi Zichen increased greatly. As Yi Zichen drove, he suddenly saw an old man sneakily running forward on the side of the road. Isn't that Su Yan's grandfather? From the looks of it, he successfully escaped again. Beep. Yi Zichen pressed the car horn twice. Elder Su's eyes lit up when he saw Yi Zichen. He quickly ran over and directly sat on the front passenger seat. Lil Yi, hurry up and drive. You're crushing me. Lu Jing was sitting on the front passenger seat just now, but Old Man Su directly sat on top of her the moment he got in the car. Yi Zichen snickered, while Lu Jing also cursed. You're still laughing, hurry up and make this old man get up. Old Man Su forcefully suppressed his laughter. Seeing that Yi Zichen didn't start the car, he also felt a bit anxious. Lil Yi, what are you doing? Hurry up and drive, we'll catch up soon. Okay, but Old Man Su, lift your butt first. Yi Zichen nearly couldn't help but laugh as he spoke. Old Man Su also felt a bit dizzy, but he still lifted his butt. I'm finally free. Lu Jing let out a long sigh and floated to the back seat. Yi Zichen also forced a smile and asked Old Man Su, where are we going? Anywhere, as long as we can drink. All right. Yi Zichen stepped on the accelerator, causing the car to turn into a bolt of lightning and disappear into the road. Not long after Yi Zichen left, a group of men in military uniforms appeared at the previous location. As they watched Yi Zichen's car leave, they shouted into the walkie-talkie. He didn't catch up to Chief. He got into a car with the license plate number XXXXX, requesting assistance. Yi Zichen chose a barbecue stall. He still remembered that Old Man Su liked barbecue. What's more, a place like a bar shouldn't be liked by someone of his age. Yi Zichen and Old Man Su directly drank from the bottles of beer after ordering a table full of skewers. Lil Yi, we're truly fated. Yeah, Yi Zichen smiled. It was truly fated. He managed to run into Old Man Su both times he tried to escape. Old Man Su, your complexion is getting better and better. Yi Zichen put the beer to the side, then picked up a lamb skewer and took a bite. Lil Yi, I feel like it's because of your alcohol. Old Man Su took a bite of the skewer. Old Master Su took a bite of the skewer and said, I sneak a few sips of that wine you gave me every day. I don't say, my heart feels better every time I drink it, and my body seems to be getting better. Is that so? Old Man Su's alcohol addiction has been cured, so he's in a good mood. That's true. Old Man Su chuckled. After a few rounds of drinking, Old Man Su and Yi Zichen's topic gradually changed from alcohol to Su Yan. Lil Yi, have you been in contact with my granddaughter recently? Don't mention it. Yi Zichen shook his head with a sigh. They did have some sort of relationship, but the F***CK connection was broken. He had always been troubled by this broken connection. What, my granddaughter doesn't like you? Chapter 45. Su Yan's strings were tied again. Condition. Yi Zichen blurted out without even thinking. Old Master Su smiled and wiped the corner of his mouth with his finger. Do you still have the wine? Pa Yi Zichen directly chucked the green gourd onto the table. Old Man Su was stunned for a long time, then glanced at Yi Zichen meaningfully. His eyebrows twitched slightly, but he calmly suppressed the shock. Just as he thought, this kid was not ordinary. Perhaps he really was from that side. The instant he took out the green gourd, Yi Zichen felt a bit impulsive. He had retrieved the monkey wine directly from his WeChat treasure chest, and did not carry it with him. The old man must have been scared out of his wits when he suddenly took it out. He sneaked a peek at Old Master Su, who was fondling the gourd lovingly. I don't think so. Yi Zichen silently rejoiced. The old man was a trustworthy person, so he picked up his phone and dialed Su Yan's number. About 20 minutes later, a beautiful figure appeared under the bright street lamp. On the way here, Su Yan would occasionally look back, as if she was on guard against anyone following her. When she came to Old Man Su's side, she smiled helplessly. Grandpa, why did you sneak out to eat again? It's not like you don't know that Grandpa only likes these two things. Old Man Su stroked his beard and chuckled. Su Yan lightly sighed, then sat opposite him and said, If Dad finds out, he'll beat me to death. How dare he? The old man glared at him, and he couldn't help but exude the aura of a superior. He is your father, but in front of me, He is my son. If he dares to hit my precious granddaughter, I'll skin him alive. Su Yen was also angered by Old Man Su to the point of laughing. At that moment, the green gourd on the side of the table entered her eyes. For some reason, Su Yen frowned slightly. Grandpa, you found out. Old Master Su chuckled as he held the gourd in his hand. Pulling out the stopper, he poured a mouthful of wine into his mouth. This is good wine. Looking at this gourd, you should know who is looking for you, right? How did you meet him again? Su Yen frowned, bit her lips, and stood up from the chair. Seeing this, Old Master Su hurriedly shouted to the back. Xiao Yi, come out quickly. My granddaughter is going to run away. Only then did Yi Zichen walk out from a dark corner near the barbecue. His face was filled with an awkward smile as he waved at Su Yen. Su Yen. Su Yen fiercely glared at it. The scene of Xia Kiki kissing him was still vivid in her mind. Ignoring him, he turned around and walked out. Yi Zichen quickly chased after her and grabbed her arm. Yi Zichen glanced over to where they'd touched, then hurriedly retracted his hand and rubbed it anxiously. Su Yen, I didn't do it on purpose. Yes. Su Yan's gaze was filled with coldness. The bone-chilling coldness caused Yi Zichen's heart to sink. I think there's some misunderstanding between us. Yi Zichen hesitated for a moment, then decided to tell Su Yen everything. Old Master Su wasn't that easy to bump into. It was a coincidence that he was able to bump into him this time. If he didn't explain this time, then God knows how long it would take for the two of them to resolve their differences. Perhaps, as time goes on, the conflict would become more and more unresolvable. Then, he would really have to say goodbye to his goddess. I don't think there's any misunderstanding between us. Su Yan's expression was cold, and she didn't give Yi Zichen any face at all. However, her actions betrayed her thoughts. She didn't leave. This meant that she wanted to hear Yi Zichen's explanation. Otherwise, she would have directly turned around and hailed a taxi, and everything would be over. Is this your girlfriend? So pretty. How did you make her angry? Did you cheat on her outside? Lu Jing teased in midair. Yi Zichen frowned and shouted. Shut up. You're telling me to shut up? Fine. I'll shut up. Su Yen was shocked by Yi Zichen's roar. She immediately turned around and left without saying anything else. Don't, Su Yen, I wasn't talking about you. Old Man Su, who sat at the barbecue stall, smiled kindly as he watched Yi Zichen and Su Yen seemed to be flirting. Old Man Su drank a mouthful of monkey wine, then muttered softly. Young people are so energetic. After much persuasion, Yi Zichen managed to hold Su Yen back. However, she didn't give him any face. Su Yen crossed her arms and raised her delicate chin. I'll give you 1 minute. 1 minute? That wasn't a lot of time. If Yi Zichen told the story from start to finish, then he definitely wouldn't be able to finish it. There's still 50 seconds. I didn't start yet. 45 seconds. Stop rushing me, I'm going to organize it. Yi Zichen took a deep breath after calming down his messy emotions. The situation at the police station was like this. You saw Xia Kiki kiss me, but it was all an illusion. Why did she kiss me? The main reason is... Yi Zichen rambled on and on without even taking a breath in between. After Yi Zichen finished explaining the situation, he placed his hands on his thighs like a primary school student and listened to Su Yan's word. Also, you didn't explain it clearly. Su Yan frowned. Yi Zichen scratched his head and fell into deep thought. There's nothing else to explain? Are you going to remind me? It just happened, Su Yan said in an unfriendly tone. Yi Zichen slapped his thigh. You're talking about the incident at the boys' dormitory? That was also a misunderstanding, blah blah blah. Yi Zichen continued to confess. When he finished, Su Yan crossed her arms and laughed coldly. It's very romantic. That's very romantic, getting angry for the sake of a beauty. Su Yan, you have to believe me. I'm helping Xia Kiki purely out of respect for you. As for that Li Jiaoyi, it was purely a coincidence, she's my classmate. What's more, I didn't do anything to her. I don't have that much face. Su Yan twitched her mouth, but felt a hint of sweetness in her heart. On account of her. However, when she thought about this guy's recent behavior, she couldn't be nice to him. He actually didn't send her a WeChat message for such a long time. He didn't even contact her when she deleted him. But indeed, she misunderstood the matter between him and Xia Kiki. Ding dong. Marriage string received. Possessor, Yi Zichen. Possessed, Su Yan. Current affability level, 50. It's even higher than before. Yi Zichen's eyelids twitched. Su Yan, you're not angry anymore, right? Yi Zichen asked in a testing manner when he saw Su Yan's expression turn for the better and the appearance of the marriage string. Su Yan lowered her eyebrows and looked at him with a scrutinizing gaze. Are you sure that you didn't touch Li Jiai that day? Then how did you deal with it? It's not convenient for me to say it. I'm telling you to say it. Su Yan raised her eyebrows once again. He actually dared to hide it from her. Then come over, I'll tell you in secret. Yi Zichen waved his hand towards Su Yan, causing her to stick her ear over. Very quickly, Su Yan blushed from her face to her ears, then raised her hand and hit Yi Zichen. Chapter 46. A huge scene. The conflict was resolved. Yi Zichen and Su Yan returned to the barbecue shop side by side. Old Man Su sat on the chair and scanned the two of them with a playful gaze. The two of you have made up? Although he knew that Old Man Su was trying to get him and Su Yan together, he didn't think that Old Man Su would say it so blatantly. More importantly, why did Old Man Su want to get them together? Was it purely for that bottle of monkey wine? If that's really the case, then Su Yan is too worthless. It was fortunate that he was the one who took out the monkey wine. If it was someone else, then he would definitely cry himself to sleep in the toilet. On the other hand, Su Yan's beautiful face was completely red. She bit her lips and slapped the table in annoyance. If you speak nonsense again, then I won't sneak you away anymore. It's Grandpa's fault for talking too much. Old Man Su chuckled. After eating and drinking for another half an hour, Old Man Su also felt satisfied, so the three of them prepared to leave. Big bro, that brat seems to be the Yi Zichen that young Master Fu talked about. A little redhead pointed towards Yi Zichen, causing the 5 or 6 youths beside him to instantly surround him. Hey, now that you mention it, it really is him. The bald boss rubbed his shiny bald head as a cruel smile appeared on his face. Our luck is pretty good, we actually directly bumped into the business we just accepted. Hey damn pervert, they're looking for you. Lu Jing, who floated in midair, shouted. Lil Yi, these people are looking for you? Old Man Su also frowned. Although Su Yan didn't say anything, the anxiety in her eyes for Yi Zichen was much more than the others. Brat, you're Yi Zichen, right? The baldy man touched the golden chain around his neck and walked towards Yi Zichen with his yellow teeth. Yi Zichen stood on the spot without moving. It seems like Fu Qingming called these people to deal with him. I didn't think that Fu Qingming would act so quickly. I am. Yi Zichen replied without changing his expression. Good, you dare to admit it, not bad. The baldy man touched his bald head. Young Master Fu told us to break one of your legs, look. Young man, this is a lawful society, aren't you afraid of the law punishing you? Old Master Su couldn't stand it any longer and stepped forward to say something. Who knew that when the baldy heard this, he would laugh out loud in an arrogant manner. Old man, you actually want to lecture me? Let me tell you, in this area, I am the law. What I say is the F*King Imperial Edict. Hold that brat down. You can't do this or we'll call the police. Su Yan was worried that Yi Zichen would be in danger, so she jumped out. When the baldy saw Su Yan, his eyes instantly widened. I didn't expect there to be a young lady here. Why, is this pretty boy your man? Are you worried about him? The baldy reached out his hand to touch Su Yan's face. Yi Zichen, who stood there without moving, picked up the beer bottle on the table. Bang! Ran directly on his head. If you dare touch her, Believe it or not, I will break your limbs. Brat, you're courting death. Looks like you don't believe me. Yi Zichen smiled warmly, but his expression quickly turned incomparably sharp. He lifted his leg and kicked the Baldy's stomach. Fuck, this grandson actually wanted to touch Su Yan. Su Yan was his woman. If anyone dared to touch her, he would chop them into pieces. What are you blanking out for? Get him. The Baldy, who hit the lamppost, cursed at his subordinate. A golden light floated out from Yi Zichen's eyes. He held the broken pieces of the beer bottle and snorted coldly towards the Baldy's subordinate. If you don't want to die, then stand still. When the subordinates saw Yi Zichen's faint golden eyes, they instantly froze on the spot. You shouldn't have wanted to touch her, do you understand? Yi Zichen stabbed the broken pieces of the beer bottle into the Baldy's collarbone. Actually, I didn't want to be rough in front of Elders Su and Su Yan, but why did you have to touch her? Bang. Yi Zichen punched the Baldy's face, causing the right side of his face to instantly change. Oh yeah, I said it before, I'm going to break your limbs. Crack. Yi Zichen stepped on the Baldy's left arm with force with his right foot, causing the clear sound of bones breaking to be heard. The miserable scream caused the eyelids of the surrounding people to twitch. Hurry up and call the police, someone's going to die. The customers in the barbecue shop started to call the police. At the same time, on Elder Su's phone. Dad, why did you sneak out again? You even got rid of the guards. Where are you right now? I'll come and pick you up. Heh, where am I? I'm currently surrounded by a bunch of delinquents. Just now, my darling granddaughter was nearly taken advantage of by the delinquent leader. Su-Chi-Hu, do as you see fit. Slap. After Elder Su hung up the phone angrily, he sat on the chair and looked towards Yi Zichen's position. For some reason, he liked Yi Zichen a bit more. He's ruthless enough, he's a talent. It seems like I have to think of a way to trick him over to my side. This kind of talent will only have a bright future if he follows me. All of a sudden, Elder Su looked towards Su Yan. When he saw Su Yan's nervous expression, Elder Su instantly made a decision in his heart. Catch a pig, catch a pig, catch a pig, a loud siren of police cars sounded out. Don't move, put your hands up. A clear shout sounded out from behind Yi Zichen, as she casually threw the half-dead Baldy onto the ground. Yi Zichen turned around. When he saw the gun-wielding female police officer, he couldn't help but shake his head with a smile. Officer Lin, we truly are fated. Yi Zichen counted the police cars, there were a total of 8, she really did think highly of him. It's you again, I knew we would meet again. Officer Lin smiled coldly, then waved towards the police officers behind her, signaling them to detain Yi Zichen. Wait a moment. Yi Zichen smiled, signaling them to calm down. Officer Lin frowned and shouted. What tricks do you want to play now? Yi Zichen took 2 steps back with a chuckle and arrived beside the Baldy. Seeing that Yi Zichen actually returned, the Baldy's eyes were filled with terror. Do you still have a leg that isn't broken? Don't worry, I'll break it for you right now. Crack. Yi Zichen, put your hands up, or else I'm going to shoot. Officer Lin roared. Don't be nervous, he won't die. You actually dared to attack the victim in front of me. I think you're looking down on me. Don't be so serious, it's so hurtful, isn't it? Yi Zichen smiled and pointed at the Baldy on the ground. I said from the start that I was going to break all 4 of his limbs. A person has to be true to their words and break them just like that. Otherwise, how am I supposed to survive in the Jianghu if I leave him with only 1? You're truly going against the heavens. Arrest him. Officer Lin roared. Elder Su, who had been sitting on the chair, suddenly stood up and snorted. I want to see who dares. At that moment, a dozen or so military off-road vehicles stopped outside the barbecue shop. Men in military uniforms stepped out of the vehicles with resolute expressions and ran in front of Elder Su in an orderly manner.